to the GRG podcast, where you get all the latest gaming news, hot topics, and more. With guest Triple Cup Chuck, Livewire's Gaming, 108 Dragons TV, Bloody Knuckles, Operations Op, 100, live, and your host, K Mega 405. The GRG podcast
starts right now.
What's happening? Uh-oh. Got that feedback. Let me get back. All right, it's gone. All right, got you. Hey, let's go. The GRG podcast is back. And we got some things that we want to talk about tonight. So, man, and then I hear that my boy, the Don, he's trying to do the Devin the Gamer afterwards. I don't know. After I listen to everybody give their topics, I might be burnt out, or I might be ready for some more. I don't know. We'll see. But I see my boy, the Don, in here. I see everybody else is coming up in here, man. Thank you so much. And thank you for the follows. I always get my follows when I'm away. But thank you. So anyway, let's get to it. Without further ado, man, because we have a list of cats here tonight. We even have a special guest that just kind of popped in. You know what I'm saying? We have not only our original bruh man, a.k.a. the king of the Dolphins, Livewire. That was the original bruh man. But now we have the bro man, you know what I'm saying, coming up in here. So he's a guest. He just came in here instead of him looking for, you know, like our boy Live, who come in here looking for sandwiches, trying to be like bruh man off of Martin. This cat right here just only wants to know if we're playing Gears. And maybe if we have some mayonnaise to borrow. So what's going on with your crispy?
Oh, mayonnaise too. Is it Hellman's? I like Hellman's.
Bruh, okay. There you go.
I mean, shit, I licked the spoon after, or the knife, whatever you were talking about.
I prefer the knife, not the spoon, bro. But I don't even mess with mayonnaise, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't cut your tongue, though. You got to use that shit. You got to remember that.
No, not with a butter knife.
You could always cut your tongue. You ever had a paper cut?
I've had
a piece of paper cut your ass?
I've had I've had quite a few paper cuts, but not on my tongue though.
Really? You never licked the envelope?
Yeah, but not very many.
There you go. Well, then you got lucky.
I kind of fold them and I tape them, kind of like.
But in all seriousness, I jumped in and I was like, you know what? You know, you invited me to GRG DM, so
yeah.
You know, and I asked, and you know, just didn't see it, I guess. So
it don't matter. Like I said, anybody from the next podcast. I mean, y'all practically family over there too. So I mean, me and Bob been doing it way before we've been doing GRG. So yeah, no, that's no big deal.
But you know, my girl didn't come through, so I was like, you know what? Let me hit you up and see what's going on. And then I saw the hangout, and I said, screw it, let's go, baby.
Let's go. All right, cool. All right, now moving on, man. We hitting up, man. Our boy PK Live is back, and he was here last week, but want to introduce him now. Let everybody get to hear his voice, know that he's alive and kicking. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing?
I'm great. Happy Friday, friends and family. Glad to be here. Glad to be with my gaming family, and here to hang out and talk some good talks.
No doubt. Then we moving around, and then we see our boy 100. Out here, I see you've been doing some videos here, man. I guess like the stay at home got you out here doing more work. I see you streaming a little bit. We played a couple of games, man. I still owe you in NBA 2K. I know you want some more action in Madden. So, what's going on with you, 100? How's life treating you, bro?
Oh man, it's all right, man. You know, working from home 4 days a week, going in 1 day a week. It's cool, man. You know, so it got so bored. We went grocery shopping. That's how bored we was.
So you don't normally go grocery shopping?
Not at the office.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm about to say this man starving his family.
I know. Like, what are you doing? Like,
No,
I mean, what's
cold-blooded.
cold-blooded?
We need certain things that you know, certain people want, like different creams and stuff like that. So,
like, what kind of creams?
Like half and half.
Oh, okay. I didn't know like rash or anything. I didn't know what kind of office was going on at that office. I didn't know. You had to let us know.
No, so they needed that. You don't want that stuff, and they gave me a little corporate card now. So
all right. No.
You get that, you got to go when they say you want to go. But no, it was something for me to do. No, I'm saying, man. And if y'all ain't played this game called Savage, what's that game? Journey is the Savage Planet. I played that for 8 hours straight yesterday.
Yeah, I saw you was on that.
That game is. The game is crazy.
Nice. All right, cool, excellent. Then we got our boy Operations Op. You're seeing his gameplay. Yes, we have brought the gameplay back. We ain't never really left it. I've been like showing a lot of trailers of games that's coming out, but right now I wanted to get back to the old regiment of showing some gameplay. Now it's only just me and Op right now for the moment, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else will start kicking in here a little bit later. They're always late. So anyway, what's going on with your Operations Op? What's happening?
Not much. We just been chilling, playing some Gears, and I've been trying this new Game Pass game called Battle Chasers Night War. It's a turn-based RPG in the same vein like older Final Fantasy, I would say, like Chrono Trigger stuff like that. It's been pretty cool so far, but it can get tough real quick. But other than that, I've just been chilling.
All right.
Love that game.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it. What was the name of it again?
Battle Chasers Night War. It's a dope game, bro. I gotta get through it though, cause it's getting hard for me. I gotta like grind a little bit, but
Oh
it's
man.
fun.
Thank you, Sparhawk, man. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. On the quest to try to get to 500. Well, I should say 450 right now, then try to get to 500. But man, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. All right, cool. I might have to look and check that out. Probably while we're going through the show when somebody's over here talking, and then I'll look it up, see what it looks like. All right, then we move on down to 100. Well, I was gonna say 100's replacement. Hot damn it. It's 108 Dragons replacement right now. So while 108 is under the weather, he's still recovering. He sounds better because he's talking a lot of shit still. So, but he was just in here earlier and he was coughing and stuff, man. He's still getting this stuff together. So, man, keep your prayers and wishes for my boy. But he is out of the thick of it. So, he's up there back to playing COD, talking trash. So, hopefully by next week he'll be back full strength. But for right now, man, Six Slayer, as I call him, aka Slick. What's going on with you, brother? How you doing?
2 points. You just need one more for the trifecta, bro. I'm doing pretty good, man. How you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm feeling all right.
You just out here chilling. I was just watching a lot of YouTube today, man. I had a major backlog on the watch later list. I just spent a lot of time watching YouTube. I didn't really do much of anything today.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. So, you know what I'm saying? Jay Slayer, I got you, man. I love Mixer, though. I think Mixer's great. It's all good, man. I mean, I can't tell you how other people may feel. I mean, I'm not here to get into that argument about it. But if you don't like Mixer, I mean, you can always wait until we bring the show, when I upload the show on YouTube. I mean, it goes there, too. So it's no big deal. So other than that, it's all good. So then, and last but not least, man, the king of the Dolphins is here. What's going on with you, Live Wire? What's happening?
Not much, just chilling. Enjoying this quarantine life, I guess, or enduring it, I should say.
You said enduring it? I mean, I don't ever recall you just being a person to get out a lot anyway. So, I mean, you would think you would thrive in this type of environment.
Yeah, but it's different.
Oh, yeah.
It's different. When you stuck at home with your family all the time, it's rough. Because everybody's up under each other all the time.
Yeah, true. But if you love each other, then you know what I'm saying, it's no big deal, right?
The Tasmanian devil, every once in a while, it gets exhausting. Shoot, I get tired from looking at it. Continually spinning around in a circle. I just like, woo.
Oh yeah.
Take a breath.
Kids will be running around. Yep, there's the Dolphin King right there. Don, look at it right there. The Dolphin King. That is, you know what? I've never seen that before. I don't know if I didn't even know they had a gift like that, Don. You got to let me know what that gift is. That's great. And when I get some other things popping off, that is going to be the Dolphin King sign right there. Normally it's usually something else, but that with the sound, that is perfect. You got to hit us up with that again because that was absolutely excellent. That is Live Wire in a nutshell. So yeah, but no, I totally get it. I mean, I can see it. The one thing I can say is that, me and my wife are separated, a lot because of the fact that she's doing her thing in one room. I'm always in my game room, and then we link up, we talk and stuff. So it's kind of still like the same, even though she's got to work from home, and I just kind of been like, forget it. I'm not going nowhere. I'm chilling because I don't, because I'm like, with my profession, I'm always got to deal with the public, and I ain't trying to deal with it. I ain't trying to come out and end up like Willie Lump. So I look at it as a thing of just being safe and precautious, and man, and just having a good time, just gaming, catching up on backlog. on the quest for 152 in Halo, man. Just doing what I do. So it's all good. It's all good. So glad everybody is here. So let's get straight on to the first topic of the night, and that is we're going straight to the controller, man. We're going straight in here talking about the PlayStation controller.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're going straight into it.
Oh, you got what you asked for.
Yeah, you got what you asked for. That is great. I hope you guys can see that. That is the most ultimate thing ever, Don. That's crazy. That is crazy. I got to get that. I got to get that gift. But yeah, talking about the PlayStation 5 controller, we've just seen it. It's called the Dualsense, I believe. And I'm gonna go to our guest first. I'm gonna go to Crispy. Why don't you just give? I'm going to break it down in the sections. Like you just give us the good and the bad. So first, I'm going to say the good. What is it that you've seen with it, Crispy? That was the positive side of it. I mean, was it a controller that you looked at and said, "Huh, you know what?" And then give me the positive, and then when everybody says the positive, then we'll get to the negative part of it. But what's the positive that you've seen in the controller?
And number one, that they're going to make a lot of variants of it, whether it be color or whatever. It's an interesting design as far as what they feel they can do, even though if they just moved one thumbstick up, it might have a lot of people feeling a lot differently and actually praising them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Well, I played on PlayStation for a very long time. And the problem I always had is I go into game sessions and I sit there and I could play for 5-6 hours, and then all of a sudden it feels like I'm having like a carpal tunnel syndrome. You know what I'm saying? I have very large hands, so I'm hoping that what a lot of PlayStation gamers are saying to me, like it's a larger controller. The thing is from what I read is that it's not necessarily smaller, but it feels smaller even though it looks bigger. So I don't know what to take from that. And that's a statement from them if you actually go in and read it. So, I mean, this is my interjection of what was said, but in general, we have to realize that we have to put the controller in our hands. And why are we, continuing the same faults? I mean, the only thing that intrigues me is the actuators that are in the triggers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That intrigues me because I haven't heard that word in a very long time. That's actually old technology. A lot of people don't realize that. It's just, how did you implement it in there? And then having a lighter battery, does that mean you're going to have the life that I have of my Elite 2? And I understand I paid a premium price for a reason, but literally I can go 30, 40 hours and then maybe it will tell me to charge it. So it's a hard thing to think about. I understand that, people enjoy what they already have. And I think PlayStation has played to that. Like, you have the internal battery, you have these things that are already there. I was expecting them to come out with a banger and be like, okay, we have 2 buttons on the back or 2 paddles on the back. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't realize this stuff costs money. There's a reason why, the Elites are still so expensive compared to the regular controller. This is why Scuff is still in business. You know what I'm saying? So in general, like these, parts that are involved in these premium products are there. And I know a lot of people are going to shit on Xbox. Basically released the Xbox One controller with a share button. And you know what? It's still probably going to be $60. But I feel like this is more of a premium product for PlayStation. And it might be maybe $10 more, maybe more than that. But in general, like, I'm excited that they at least looked at the look of the darn thing and just said, it doesn't go into transparency or, like the clear Death Stranding controller. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen clear for how long? At least us older gamers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
we've seen clear forever, and it's like the same old. While Xbox is like, you can make your controller, and I feel like they're saying, okay, maybe they're going to have a PlayStation controller design center where you pay $80 and you say, okay, I can make it whatever color I want. I mean, the money's there. Xbox wouldn't continue to do it if it wasn't there. So in general, I'm just intrigued that the design, at least in the aesthetics, looks better than what I've seen from them.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Go to 100. Let me go to you next. What? Give me the good about the controller. What did you think about it? And not about the bad, but good right now.
At least they trying to do something. It looks different. Yeah, let's see. At least they trying to put rumbles in the triggers.
Okay.
Using half the feedback. Catching up with times. They're going USB-C. Other than that, I can't tell you nothing else. It's still a PlayStation controller. But hey, that's the good out of me.
Okay, that's why I went to you second, because I wanted to, I didn't think you was going to give me too much of the good. I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of other things to say when we go to the bad. So, all right, thank you, 100. PK, what do you think give me the good about the Dualsense controller that you've seen?
So I think overall it looks like a fresh look, more rounder shape, and it does remind you of an Xbox. I think it inspired from the Xbox controller because that's what a lot of people like. It looks more comfortable in your hands, and I think that's why it's shaped and the way it is, and it looks more. If you look at the buttons, it look kind of flat-ish, almost like you kind of can glide your thumb across the buttons more than just press it.
You know what? I didn't even really pay attention to that. That's a great point. That is a great point. Looking at that controller, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
So it's more of it to me. It looks like it got a lot of inspiration from the Xbox controller on how the shape is, so it fits better in your hands. I'm glad they finally added adapter triggers. And the speaker is interesting because I'm not sure how they're going to use it, but in my mind, the way the speaker was used in older controllers, like what Nintendo used, you can hear sound effects coming from your controller, or one of the AI would talk to you through the speaker, or you can give it voice commands through the controller to interact with the game. So that might actually have some kind of use at some point. And I do like the fact that they took the light on the front of the PS4 and kind of dimmed that and just did like a highlight, more like a LED gamer look around the touchpad. So overall, those aesthetics I think is more appealing. I like that they took a step towards a different direction rather than keep the same standard build.
Okay, all right, not bad at all. All right, let me go to you, operations. Give me the good on it. What do you think?
For me personally, outside of stuff that 100 listed, I can't really see any positive about the controller. In my honest opinion, I'm not trying to hate on it or anything. I was never a fan of the controller to begin with, but the redesigns they made to it right now isn't really going to win me over at this point, because I'm not a fan of the symmetrical design, symmetrical layout that has with the button layouts and the sticks. But yeah, for me, no positives outside I guess adding rumble triggers or haptic feedback, however they want to phrase it this time. Yeah, I really can't think of anything else.
Okay, well, no, I'm going to show once we get to the negatives. I'm going to show a little list of both of them compared of what they have. So, okay, all right, cool. All right, what about you, Slayer? What do you got, man?
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to be non-contrarian and just you can copy paste the same things that PK 100 said. The USB-C, the lights are smaller, so they're not blinding you in the dark. They got that microphone speaker, they got the triggers, all of that. I mean, feature set wise, it seems like it's just fine. There's really not much else to say about that. I mean, I don't think anybody is going to present those things as negatives. There's some other negatives, you might have opinions on here and there, but all these positives, it's pretty much universal. It's that simple.
Okay. All right. Livewire. Okay. I guess that just well, I guess that just says right there he's not about anything positive about the controller. So all right. So okay. So let's get into the negative. So I'm going to start off just like I did last time. I'm going straight to Crispy. Give me your negatives, and this time I'm going to put up the side-by-side comparisons of both controllers. So right here, I hope you guys can see that. Hope y'all can see that. Good. Let me see. All right. So Crispy, what's the negatives that you have with the Dualsense?
Well, I kind of got into it. I mean, it's the fact that they continue. I mean, it's not a patented design. You know what I mean? Like the way Xbox has the ergonomics involved with the controller itself really feels comfortable once you play it. Like I understand there's a lot of people that refuse to try it or whatever, but once you understand it, and there's a lot of data that says the way the thumbsticks are placed on the Xbox controller, it makes total sense, especially for larger hands like myself. And I can go into I've done 20-hour gaming sessions with an Xbox controller, and I've had no problems whatsoever. I've never like you almost feel like between your thumb and your wrist feels like it's gonna like tear apart or something. That's what I felt when I played PlayStation, and maybe that's kept me on Xbox, and true to the multiplayer aspect of it for so long, because I always feel comfortable using the controller. And it just disappoints me that you say you've put in all this research and everything else into a controller, and you're telling me that you still think that putting your hands basically not in the right position is logical. And I mean logical in the fact that you could sit here and tell me that you've played for 20 hours in the game and haven't hurt on a PlayStation controller. I actually, and I'll go back to the PlayStation 3 when they had the big wings. You know what I mean? That's what I call it. It almost looks like a boomerang. You know what I mean? Remember when they just threw it out there and then everybody hated it? And then they went
batarang, you mean?
Yeah. And then they went to this super small version of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I understand that, some people have small hands. I get that. But I never have anybody that has small hands complain about the Xbox controller. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is that people have big hands too. You know what I mean? I'm 6'1". I have big ass hands. Okay. I actually have bigger hands than probably any other 6'1" person. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this hurts. Why am I'm putting myself through pain to play a game? And everybody calls out the all these little inputs that the Xbox has already done and actually taken out or put back in their higher versions. I mean, the Elite 2 literally feels so amazing every time I put it in my hand. I feel like I not only have a premium product, but it has a built-in battery, and everybody. Either way, if Xbox could hit a $60 mark, in my opinion, and they could put an internal battery of what they do with the version 2, I think it would be what it is, and they would have an internal battery. The problem is I think they have a very premium product in my hand after all the faults they had, because I have plenty of Elite version 1s which sucked. You know what I mean? And they disappointed me. And the only thing that kept me going was the paddles and playing the way I want to play. And that's what kept me buying them, even though it was really stupid. I mean, seriously, it was. I'm spending money that I shouldn't have to, and it was pissing me off a little bit. But now that I have this one, I've gone a couple months. I'm like, this is a premium product, but they also don't want you to make you spend that kind of premium money for it. You know what I mean? So you have a different SKU that could work on the new consoles. It makes total sense. Now, the PS5 controller, nobody's talked about, is it playable on the PS4 console? Do we know?
Is it
Anybody?
backward, if it's backward, if the people can play the old the DualShock?
Yes.
Yes, it's right here. It says it's
No, that's the headset.
Oh.
Yeah, the headsets.
Oh.
So what I'm saying to you is,
I heard some people say it is, some people it ain't. Depends who you go to.
Yeah, it's a penny. Because I haven't heard
it's
anything.
Not like Sony. It's not,
no. Yeah, if Sony didn't say it, what I'm reading is that the fact is that, let's say you have a PS4 Pro and you're expecting to play these games or whatever games come out. I mean, I'm sure they're going to support the games back and forth for at least a period of time, just like Xbox is, because they seem to copy Xbox a lot. I'm just saying. Lately, it's been like, crossplay. Yeah, we could do that.
It's been more than lately.
PC, we could do that. Oh, wait, we're going to make a controller that is easily color schemed and everything else. Oh yeah, we could do that. You know what I mean? And that's the point I try to make, is that I feel like PlayStation used to be always in the driver's seat, and now I feel like they're the back driver. They're like, oh, you got to take a right, you got to take a left, you got to do this, you got to do that, and Microsoft isn't listening. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft is saying, oh, we're going to drive you to do more, and I feel like the point is that this controller looks like something Microsoft would have brought out, except with the thumbsticks different. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And all this technology that's in that controller, besides the mic, which the mic was on the Kinect, and we all heard about how it was ridiculous and they were listening to us and all that bullshit. Okay? Well, now you got it even closer to you, and you're going to tell me that it's a good thing after all these years? Okay, fine. We'll have that same narrative, because Microsoft probably would have done that a long time ago if people didn't hate the Kinect so much. So just think about that, because in the end, you could say here, one controller is better than the other. It's your preference. I understand that. You like one or the other, great. But the thing is really, the controller looks the same as the DualShock 4. Maybe it's bigger, maybe it's smaller. We don't know yet. Nobody's put their hands on it. So they even just shipped it out to the devs. Everybody ignores that. They just said that they just shipped it out to the devs. Give me a break, dude.
That is true. That is true. Great points. Great points, Crispy. All right, I'm going to go back to the same person I went to again, and that's you, 100. Can I get the negatives from you? Because you was really light on the positive. So what do you think?
All right.
Here we go. Let me just put my little mic up so I can just...
Nah, I ain't going to go on no rant. No, my thing is that trackpad, nobody uses that trackpad. So why do you even have it there? I was never a fan of it, and don't know why else you. What is the light for? I need to see in the dark.
Yeah, it's VR.
It's for VR and for motion. It's for motion detection, I thought.
No, it's to tell what controller you are, first or second player.
That's it. That's
Yep.
That's the only reason. That was the only reason from the beginning.
Oh yeah,
Blue
because
is first player, red is
one second player be red, another one. But to me, that's too much cosmetic. Remember when Xbox first came out and it was showing TV and all this other these fantastic features? Oh, we as just gamers, we just want to game. Now when it's people like, I want features. I want a mic. Just like my man said, y'all to complain about the Kinect watching you. I had customers sitting there putting tape over their webcams, and like I said, if the government want to hear you, they can hear you. I don't care what government you live in. If they want to snap, they can hear what you want to hear. How many
Yeah, they
times
got
we
a
got
mic
our
in your
cell?
pocket already.
How many cell phones we got on? We can't. Half of us can't even live without no cell phone. We eat, sleep with the bad boy. So that's not a big feature to me. That could have been left out. But then people sitting there, well, it's going to have noise canceling. But then they also say this: for longer gameplay, you should get your headset.
Yeah, but that noise canceling is only for stuff that are at a distance. Like if you like, say
You
if
know
you're
what?
in a
I
room
think
like
I
your
think
kid.
it's going to be. I think they're going to be having like, hey, go play Horizon Zero Dawn. I think they don't take take voice commands like
Yeah,
Xbox had, and I think they're going to do it their way. And that's what I think it's for. And you know how when you go say, "Hey Google," and or "Hey Alexa," you're going to be able to do that, and you're going to be able to like multitask with that. I think that's what that mic for. Because
it
otherwise, what
might
I
be.
need a
Yeah,
mic for? And if I got a headset on, I don't. Well, I'm gonna talk to you for a second. Like, hey man, let me in the game. I can send you a message
yeah. I mean, I
or
guess if they're
something.
trying to do voice commands like that,
Yeah.
I guess.
So yeah, that's that is the analogs. I can't stand them. I can't. That's why I cannot stand to play. If y'all like them, you like them. I tried to play black back in the day with it. Can't do it. My thumbs hit each other. Maybe I'm so natural because I came from the Dreamcast where it was just one analog stick. But when Microsoft put the other analog stick at the bottom, it already came natural to me. The Dual controller felt natural because I was really kind of based off of, to me, the Dreamcast controller. So, I don't really give a dang about the creative share button. I feel like, people like, well, you got one. To me, it's just like, to me on the Xbox controller, like it sits right there where your thumb can actually just hit it and go boom. So, and, you know, but I thought nobody wanted to share. I thought people just wanted to have a gaming machine and they can go get other video editing software to do their
Great
stuff.
point.
But,
I mean, that
uh,
was their claim to fame.
so I don't know, but it's the stuff that I don't like the color. You know what I'm saying? I got a white controller right now. I got two of them. I'm in the office cleaning off one of them. I'm going to give it a thorough cleaning. And I'm like, man, that's. I know you want to look futuristic, but like the black, somebody photoshopped the black and made it look a little better. But you know, the battery, I'm tired of this, and this is That's what I wanted to say. That's what was on my mind. This internal battery and not internal battery, we need to stop with that shit. Because when that controller go out, you cannot switch that internal battery in no PlayStation controller. With an Xbox controller, at least you have the option to go get a charge and play kit. If you already don't have one, you know what I'm saying? Or put in batteries. You cannot do that in a PlayStation controller. That bad boy goes out, you just be fucked. So I don't understand, like, oh, well, you need to. Even these days, like I play in my bedroom most of the time. Better get you a USB cable and plug up to the machine. Or get you some rechargeable batteries. That's the only thing I didn't kind of like in the new Elite controller, because what if that bad boy go out? Microsoft, you gonna sit there and I'm returning back to you, you gonna give me another external battery? That's the only thing about it. Nothing wrong with batteries. You have options. You can go get your charge and play kit, and that bad boy, I mean, who ain't got 30, 40? You can get a charge and play kit 30. Sometimes you get a combination. You probably can get a controller with the charge and play kit for about $70. And at least you got an extra controller, and you can switch that charge and play kit in and out. Boom, boom, boom. Get you another one. They got charge ports and charge it. And a lot of y'all sitting there complaining, oh, y'all not gaming that long. Y'all not gaming that long. Y'all ain't gaming until the wee hours like me and Megan did the other night. I saw the sun come up.
Me too.
I
My
said,
old
I
lady
got
said,
you.
"Why the hell you going to bed? Why you come to bed? You might as well stay up. It's daylight now." I'm like, "Damn."
But I said, y'all don't be gaming like this. I don't understand that thing, the battery thing. But that's all I got to say. Ain't gonna be too long.
All right, cool. What about you, PK? What are your negatives about the controller?
Before I hit that, I just want to address a couple things. I want to say that
Mhm.
I understand everyone has their opinion and their preferences, right?
Right.
But you have to appreciate the fact that the controller is different. Okay,
Right. No doubt.
if it was exactly like an Xbox controller, then we would not identify it as a PlayStation controller. So it has to be different. It may not be my preference, your preference, but it has to be this way. It has to be their design that they can call their own, that you can identify as their brand. And I appreciate that. I mean, that goes for Nintendo or whoever else make a controller, because it's not just Sony, right? Because Nintendo makes a new type of controller every generation.
Mhm.
Every generation is a brand new design, and it might not be the greatest, but it's a new one. They're trying something different, and all I'm saying is we have to appreciate that there is a difference there.
Oh, that's fine.
Now,
Yeah, that's good.
and
Like that's why I like it. Like I said, everybody has their different takes and their opinions on it, and I like that. That's what it's all about. That's what GRG is all about. Continue,
Mhm.
continue, bro.
so as far as the negatives, I would just say that far as it being a PlayStation controller, I mean, I already touched on that. Just like the new Xbox controller is basically an Xbox One controller with some new features, right? New
Mhm.
technology. And Sony added technology they didn't have in their controller as well. Far as adaptive triggers, hey, that's been in the Xbox controllers since 360. So that's nothing new. They just added that. Far as haptic feedback, um, that is something Nintendo been using since Wii.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
and I'm just gonna tell you now, that just drains your battery. All it is a different kind of rumble feature, and it's in the Switch controllers right now. That's why the Switch controllers don't last that long, and they have their own battery in each one of the Joy Cons. And though you have to turn those off, otherwise you're gonna kill your battery. Period. Hands down, it's not gonna last long.
Can I throw a hypothetical out there just because you brought up the battery? Is that they flat out said that it's, they try to make it as light as possible, basically. And the problem I have is if they charge more than $60 for this and it feels like a piece of plastic in your hand, I think people are going to have a problem with that.
No, they won't.
You know what I
I,
mean?
No, they won't.
I highly doubt they're charged more than 60 because it's basically a PS4. And I know they call it a dual sense, but that's just for PR. It's basically a
It's marketing.
PS4 controller, and it has some features that are old technology. They didn't really spend that much money on it. It does look great. It's a great looking controller, um, but it's just got a couple of features that's already been out on other consoles, right?
Mhm.
You know, Nintendo had haptic feedback first, right? They've done this already. They're doing it now in the Switch controllers. I know we don't talk about it, and we talk about the size of the controllers, but actually the Switch controllers are smaller than both.
Oh wait,
You-
so are you saying that that Nintendo doesn't have to bring that up?
It's never part of the conversation, and all I'm saying is we got to keep the same energy, right? If we're
Right.
going to complain about one, we got to say we got to call out everyone. And all I'm saying is my issue or the downside is not the shape, not the size, not even how it's built. It's not my preference. No, I'm not a preferred PlayStation controller, but I don't like the touchpad. I think it gets in the way. Every time I'm playing on PlayStation, I hit that button by accident and something happens.
Oh, the
I think
touchpad, not the analog.
no, the touchpad on the top in the middle of the controller, it
Mhm.
gets in my way. I
Okay.
don't like that. I don't think no one uses it for anything. I think it's kind of a waste. They could easily use that space for something else. Um, and again, the haptic feedback I think is a negative. I think it's the wrong direction. It's more of a gimmick than anything. I don't think it's something that you would take advantage of because again, that's for um, yeah, it's a rumble that could say, "Hey, something is over here," and you can feel a little rumble pad as you like using as radar or whatever. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's just another rumble feature that can drain your battery. And we all gamers, we like to game a long time, and I just think that's just something we're gonna just turn off when we play the game. And that's one of my biggest issues
I mean,
is
surround sound does a better job of that too, anyway. so it's really pointless. Or just having better
Well-
audio quality with your headsets or your TV.
What's something they wanted you to feel, right? They want to try a gimmick, and they're using Nintendo's ideas, and I think it just won't work. I think it's going to backfire. As far as that feature, I think that more than likely people are just turn it off. As far as the size and all that, I mean, it's a PlayStation controller. I mean, it's a Japanese controller. They have small hands. They developed it according to their own people, right? So, yeah, it's gonna look and feel more like for their hand size versus ours. I mean, we just accept that. It is what it is. But far as everything else, I think one thing I wanted to say is a lot of people in the media is going crazy and trying to make it seem like they have created some sort of brand new invention because they added the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback when this is not new. Only thing new, and even the speaker is not new, right? Like I said, this has been done before. All this stuff has been done before. This is nothing new. And that's what I want to kind of let's just step back from that and realize that I'm glad that they're trying to do something different. But think about the speaker and the haptic feedback is nothing but gimmicks. That's just going to drain your battery. Overall, I think what I care about most is how does the buttons feel? How does the actual triggers feel when you pull it? Does it feel like the Xbox controller when you pull the triggers? On the analog sticks, do they glide? Because I have an issue with my PlayStation controllers when the analog sticks glide. They don't give you any feedback, no force feedback.
Right. These do
So-
So they are supposed
Yeah,
they're
so-
supposed to, yeah.
Supposedly. So those are my things, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But I don't overall. I don't. There's not too much I could say without actually playing it. But those are just things I'm observing, right?
Okay. All right. Not bad at all. Not that bad at all. Okay, Livewire. I hit you up earlier, but you weren't at the mic, so I'm gonna just go to you next before I go over to Op. What are your negatives?
Well, I'll get my positives first since I wasn't here for that.
Okay. All right.
I like the way it looks. Looks
Okay.
fine to me. I like that it's a little bit spaced out. Now I gotta see. My biggest pet peeve with the PlayStation controller is the option button, because on the PlayStation controller it's just hard to find because everything's like so like low. It's not raised at all. So like it just became kind of a nuisance in order to find it at times.
You mean like you slide your thumb over it and you
Yeah,
can't?
and it's just not like I gotta like all right, the touchpad's here and then I slide it over.
Oh, it's
like-
too flushed. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too flush for me, for my liking. Because there's nothing where it's located. There's no reason for me to hit
It
it.
looks
other
like they
than
did change that. Just because it doesn't look, it looks a little raised at least, I guess.
Yeah, because that was an issue, big issue for me. But I mean, knowing that it's going to be dual stick, I'm not even going to complain about stuff like that. It being them having the lithium battery, it is what it is at this point. You know what I mean? What is this, like the third time they're doing it? So
Well,
yeah.
the PlayStation 3 controller was wired, was it not?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, the PlayStation.
No, it wasn't. It was wireless.
It was wireless. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that was
were
the
one of
generation
fir-
where everybody went wireless.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones actually.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they didn't have a battery since.
Well, I don't
PS2,
remember.
think.
I had it.
But here's
I
the
had a
thing
wire.
that I bring up is that it's easy. Like, dude, I've replaced laptops, I replaced phones just because of the battery, because they won't let me replace it. And it's an easy way to get money when you really shouldn't get money because you can have an easy fix. And I feel like Xbox is giving us this option because in the end, like if they can't put the most premium battery in to their controller, why do it? You know what I mean? Why not just give you the option to just say, okay, if you really want to use AA batteries, or you could spend, $20 every couple of years and put the Energizer, rechargeable batteries or whatever the heck they are into your controller, and then I got to replace the batteries instead of the controller. If the controller, and don't get me wrong, Xbox has a lot of problems, especially with the one controller. That it has stick drift and everything else. Like I've had all these problems, and even in the premium ones, like the version 1, I haven't had the problem in the version 2. But who's to say in a year and a half when I've spent $180, maybe I will. I don't feel like I will because I've had enough version 1s that this still doesn't feel the same. You know what I mean? And the battery, like I said, you can go 35, 40 hours and finally will tell you we're going to die, and it'll give you an alert and everything else. But that's after all that time. Like if I didn't charge it by then, shame on me. You know what I mean? And that's the point. Like I don't feel like they're emphasizing enough of the internal components involved, like what they're using and everything else. It's just basically we have this, we have that. Okay, well, we've seen controllers with these things, and now all of a sudden you're bringing it back, or you're going, the old is new and the new is old. It's ridiculous. Like, look, I understand that the controller looks better than what I've seen because I'm not a fan of the like clear looking controller, and that's because maybe I played on PlayStation for too long and it's like constantly clear. Like everybody was praising that Death Stranding one, and I'm like, I don't like it. I want a finish that I feel like I'm holding like a premium product, especially if I'm buying a premium console. You know what I mean? Like that controller should be epic. Like I have nobody saying that the Gears 5 bundle far and wide was perfect, like for the Xbox One X, and nobody has said it's not a premium product for what you're paying for. Like that controller is laser etched and everything else, like it feels solid in your hands, and you look at that Death Stranding one and you're like, even regardless of how it feels, you just look at it and you're like, that thing looks like clear plastic with a bunch of shit in it.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go ahead, Live. Finish what you was going to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, like I said, I don't have too many negatives with it. I like the fact that they added the haptic feedback, because to me, whether or not they're doing it the same exact way as Xbox is irrelevant. The simple fact that I know both consoles will have it, so whether or not devs have to design it for PlayStation and then design it for Xbox, I know that the feature is going to be utilized. That's what matters to me. Now whether or not the tension thing, with the tension in the trigger, I mean that could be cool, maybe. To me, I would just rather to have feedback with a rumble if they're going to do that. But I mean, if they're going to go the extra mile and put tension behind it, I mean, it's cool too. But yeah, my only biggest issue would be the mic. But I'm gonna just be honest with you, bro. I don't play multiplayer games on PlayStation, so I'm not really planning to get into a party chat with somebody. Kids are in the background yelling and screaming, and him or her like pressing 100 buttons, because I don't plan to play PlayStation in a party chat. I plan to play the single player games, and and then jump back on the Xbox. Like that's what I do. Like they don't have any multiplayer games for me to play. You know what I mean? Like maybe if they get some that are like truly intriguing, and it's like, oh, I gotta play it, then all right. But they just don't they don't make those type of games, and they're gonna be the weaker console. So I guess it's cool that if you want to, if they're gonna have the more uh the controller with more bells and whistles than the Xbox controller, then that's where their money went. You know what I mean? That ain't a bad thing. It's just that's where it went. So
All right, cool. What about you, Op?
For me, like PK, I can appreciate that they did change the design of the controller because, like, for me, like the previous PS4, PlayStation controllers, like, all of them always look goofy to me, in a sense, especially PS4 because they added extra
Yeah,
gimmick touchpad. But I
I
can appreciate
concur,
that
my
this one has
brother.
like a modern look to it. But that's really not saying much because I still like the design of it at all, in my opinion. But I can give them credit where credit is due. Like, it is a better design than a PS4 controller at this point. And from as far as negatives, I mean, they're double down on gimmicks at this point. The touchpad's still there. I don't really see why they're still committing to that at this point. Because for me, the last PS4 game that I believe that used it was the Ratchet and Clank reboot, and that came out in 2016, I believe. And I'm not even sure if their first party games used it at this point. I don't remember God of War using it. I'm not sure if the others did at this point, but I could
Yeah,
be wrong
Days
about that.
Gone did.
Oh, Days Gone did?
For the
Okay.
map.
Yeah,
I mean,
used it
it
for the
like
map.
you didn't
Yeah.
have to use it because you could literally just pause
Actually,
the game
most games just used it for a map.
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
different.
But
Does it act
even
like
still,
FPS?
And
you
you
just
heard,
push
and,
start.
and you could hear like on Horizon Zero Dawn, there would be the little wow noise, and like
Yeah,
once you hear
every once in a
recordings
while
and stuff
the
like that, it
theme
would use
song
some.
to
Yeah.
door the
So is that
explosion.
like a shortcut in a sense?
Yeah, it would be used as a shortcut. It wasn't nothing crazily innovative. I think Uncharted 4 used it as well for something. I can't remember though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. I just can't remember what it actually was because and that's the thing. Like, if it was something that was really intuitive or something that got you into it, then I could see it being, bringing it back. But I don't think really PlayStation 4 gamers themselves look at that touchpad as being nothing but just a screen. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that they don't even really get into that much. I don't know. I know we got Christopher Hart in here, but anybody else has got a PlayStation, let me know what you think about that touchpad as well in the chat. But go ahead,
Okay, I
Up.
can get that. I get ease of use, but like as from what y'all told me, it seems like it had a single use in most games,
Mm-hmm.
which was just to access a map. But I can get the ease of access for that, but I don't think it justifies the continuation of this technology in the PS5 controller. But oh well, it's here. It's not gonna go away, so there's nothing we can do about it. Going from there, the mic in the controller, like PK said, is nothing new at this point. But Neff brought up a good point on Twitter. He said like he posted pictures of the patent that was leaked, I believe,
Right.
when it was I think
I
it was
was
like
waiting for somebody to hit it. I didn't know if it was going to be you or Slayer, but yeah.
so basically like if I remember correctly in this patent.
Damn, he stole it from me.
I was just waiting. I was waiting. I wasn't going to say nothing until if nobody did, I was going to say it. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
So basically, in a sense, it's listening to your conversation at this point because it listens for like key details, key phrases. And so, like, I guess in the scenario it posted, I guess proposed, someone's struggling with a boss battle at a point. If it hears you struggling with it, it'll give you a prompt. I think for microtransactions, it'll help you beat the boss at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my personal opinion, after the shit that went through in 2013, the DRM, people being paranoid is listening to you, is watching everything you do. This seems pretty invasive in my I guess looking at it from like 10 feet back at this point. Because if it's listening for key phrases at this point, it's going to prompt you for a purchase at this point. That seems a little predatory, in my opinion. Like all the fears people had back then in 2013 that never came to fruition are happening now, pretty much. If this does actually go through with it, this patent. But like, yeah, that seems a little fishy to me that they have the patent and now have the microphone confirmed in the controller. So it looks like they're just setting up for it to be able to execute in the future, but we have to wait and see. But to me, that seems real fishy at this point.
Right.
But going from there, still to have an internal battery is ridiculous in my opinion for controller at this point. Like I don't see any benefits of having an internalized battery that you're stuck with for your device at this point. Because even correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not big on technology with phones, but like the batteries, some phones you can take them out, but like you can't necessarily go out and buy a replacement battery for your phone because it's made by manufacturers at this point. That's not something so commercially. So you're kind of locked into that battery.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know with our phones, it diminishes over time. So you either got to stick it out with that phone or upgrade, get a new phone at that point. So
That's
applying
a
the same concept with the
great
controller.
point. That's
Yeah.
a really great point because that it's kind of like the way that it forces you to
buy a new one.
buy a new phone because that battery do diminish and then of course that the internet on it slows down and
Right.
everything. Absolutely great point.
Well, it's the same sense of the Joy-Cons, right? So if you Joy-Cons get drift, you have to buy a set of new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And Nintendo will not replace them. There is no warranty for those Joy-Cons. You just have to buy new ones. Period. If one goes dead, it's too bad. You got to buy a set. Not one, but two.
Hmm. See, that's a great point. Maybe listen, everybody, all of those stands would be all of controllers. PlayStation was Sony was looking at how Xbox was cleaning house with all of those customized controllers. And then they were like, there's no way that they're going to have their gamers buy a $150 controller. There's no way. That's yeah. I know Sony was thinking Microsoft is desperate as hell. Even the stands were saying that Microsoft was desperate for that. And then what happened? It sold out everywhere. And then now you see the Elite 2. I've held back a little bit because I bought 2 Elite ones, and over time they've messed up. But the point of the matter is that they feel so damn good. It's like crack. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I'm saying? Like you want that premium feeling in your hands. So PlayStation has anything. If this controller feels solid, because from the look of it, it looks like it might be cheap material, but I don't know if it is or not. But if it feels solid, feels right, and then they got these customized batteries. Customized controllers that we've been seeing. They're going to be cleaning house as well. Definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the leading factors why they changed the design of the PS5 controller. Because, looking at it, just I haven't got my hand yet, but it seems like there's more surface area for them to work with at that point, which means you got more options for customability and cosmetics with your controller at this point. Because they've seen what Xbox done with their controller at the Creative Lab and all that stuff. It's a success. It's a hit from day one at that point. So maybe in their mind they kind of pivot the design so they can actually open up the avenue for them to venture out and get double down of custom controllers from their extra source of revenue. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I'm looking at it as far as the redesigned controller. But for another negative, just I guess going after the internal battery, I'll have to say is probably the haptic feedback, because like PK mentioned, it's going to drain the battery faster at this point. If you topple that on top of the internalized battery, you're going to be flying through your control, not necessarily flying through, but I won't be surprised if people were facing the same issue that they have to replace their controls at a certain point in time because of the batteries, because the usage to get out of it is really not worth it to keep playing with it at that point. So if you have these different gimmicks or these different features in the controller that are burning it even faster, people are going to run through the controllers faster than they did this generation at this point. So that could be a bigger problem going into next generation. But it's gonna be an issue for them because I'm not gonna be playing on it. I'm probably get it towards the end of the generation just to get it real cheap, get the game cheap. Because for me, getting it right now or at launch is not worth the investment, in my opinion. But that's a conversation for another day.
I think we have talked about this damn controller far enough.
Yeah.
Well, you've interrupted like 3 times, so yeah, we still got one more person to talk about it. So
yeah, that's it for me.
So chill. Yeah, okay, but cool. But go ahead, Slick.
All right. Listen, man. The first time I saw this controller, I'm not gonna lie, it was just like the first time I saw the Series X system. I'm like, what? I was not a fan of the look. Now the Series X look has grown on me, especially when you consider, what they're doing and why it's designed that way. But even then, I don't feel that way about this new controller. Now I said this in the chat before, it doesn't matter what it looks like; it matters what it feels like. But Chris B brought up something that's very important with the way the sticks are aligned. I'm team offset. Those sticks have to be offset. This has been 20 years now that Xbox controllers have been like that, and Nintendo controllers have been like this. We done figured this out 20 years ago. Okay, after a while you have those two analogs, and your fingers start to get numb, or it is a pain or something. I think it's a cross between numbness and pain. I'm not really sure, but. With the PS4 controller, they increased the distance between the two analogs, and it looks like they're keeping that same distance. In fact, I think exactly. I'll have to compare them when the system is out and see if they're exactly lined up. But other than that, it's got a touchpad, and the touchpad is grossly underused when it's a nice idea, but it's hardly ever used. So I don't know why it's still there. And they added all these features, but they decreased the size of the battery, I think, right? So if all this happened, you added all these features, you better have optimized your circuitry a lot better than you have before, because if the battery life is the same or even an hour longer, that's an L. That's a complete L. You added all these features and half of them we don't even need, and then you reduce the size of the battery on top of that. Man, this has to show improve to me. This is just not. It's not looking too good. I'm not trying to downplay the controller that much. I mean, it looks like it should feel great in the hands, but they have to show improve. Xbox doesn't really have to do that with me because it's mostly the same controller, but they've proven that with with that design of controller for 15 years now. It's basically the 360 controller upgraded a little bit. That's all it was, and that's all it needed to be. But this controller here from Sony, we'll soon see. We'll soon see. And that's all I'm going to say on that. We've been on this topic way too long.
I know. I didn't think it was going to be that long to talk about the damn DualShock, but hey, or the DualSense. But we did. Yeah, the first topics for the last couple of weeks has been ultra long. But okay, no problem. No problem. People still sitting here. They want to hear about it. So we got to give it up to my boy Henosis. He said, I hope everyone is safe and having a great Easter 2020. God bless. No doubt about that. No doubt about it. If you're religious or not, we still hopefully everybody stays safe. Keep your asses at home if you have to, man. I mean, if you can, man. If you can't, then I totally get it. But don't be one of these people talking about G5 cell towers and black folk don't get this shit, because better look at these statistics. Because we getting hit. We getting hit hard with this shit. So anyway, second topic. Konami. We talked about Konami a couple of weeks back, basically, and this is kind of like a twofold question, right? Because I seen this in the wee hours. Matter of fact, I think I seen it right after me and 100 got finished playing sports, and I was like, whoa! And I put it up and everything, and it caught my attention. Like, what the hell, really? And so it shows Konami is reapplying the Bloody Roar franchise. That was, very surprising. And big shout out to Sir X, man. He always talks about Bloody Roar. As a fighter fan, I've loved Bloody Roar. I don't know how everybody else feels on the panel. That's why I'm going to ask you guys. But it's going to be a twofold question. I'm going to answer this question first, and then I'm going to get to my other bigger point because of these rumors that's been going around. But how significant is this with going on with Konami and the rumors and everything? Do you think that Bloody Roar will make a comeback? I'm finna go to you first, 100. I know you like fighters yourself. So, what do you think, man? Would this be a good look for Konami to bring this fighter back?
Shoot, if they want to do it, I gotta see it first. Like, man, I'm not the rumor type of guy. I need some hard, like.
Oh no, this ain't a rumor. No, this ain't a rumor. They reapplied it. So
but how many times somebody reapplied? Sometimes you just reapply for that name,
right? For somebody else,
just to keep it in your back pocket,
right? No,
just to keep it in your back pocket, so nobody won't try to take it from you or whatever, because there'd be some hostile takeovers.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, we can wait. If it comes out, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it was. It's so many fighters out there now. You got the blade. It's the fighting market getting kind of drowned, especially the Japanese fighters.
What?
Yeah, it's getting drowned, man.
Come on, never
all
that.
the Japanese fighters and stuff, man. Look at all them fighting. Then the mother fighters on the PC. Man.
Oh,
ain't
hell
enough time in the day.
Man, there's so many other RPGs out there. Come on, man. There's if that's the case, there's oversaturation of everything.
I'm not saying everything is. If you don't got nothing, like it has to do stuff that nobody else is doing.
Well, Bloody Roar is its own entity. Nobody's doing anything what Bloody Roar is doing.
Bloody Roar got an entity because we older gamers. These new, what they call them.
What other fighter is doing anything to what Bloody Roar does?
Yeah, but how long ago was that? When was the last time we had a Bloody
Yeah.
Roar game?
Wait,
A long
wait,
ass
wait.
That's what
time.
I'm saying.
70
No,
Wait,
years.
wait, wait.
your new average consumer don't know nothing about a bloody war. They
We
know
didn't know
about
what
Soul
Grand Blue was
Calibur.
either, but that
They
came
know
out.
about it.
It's wonderful.
They know about a think about it. When you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to reintroduce that game to people or and stuff like that. You're gonna have to reintroduce it. You're gonna have to market it right. And I know you're a big fan. You and Sir X-Men are big fans, but I always got to be the voice of reason.
I wouldn't call it the voice of reason on this one, but go ahead.
Yeah, always the voice of reason. I said, just hang on for a second because let Konami throw a hint. If it's a little hint, I was like, oh yeah, go rock on with it. But just because they got a patent or they re-registered the name, I got to see something. And and Konami, you see, we've been worrying about the pachinko machines more than they've been worrying about a whole lot of games. So maybe they're gonna let somebody else make it. Maybe somebody licenses it out.
Now we're getting into something that that's going to be after I get everybody else's opinion on this, though.
So maybe that's what they do. So I'll play it. We play all type of fighters.
Right.
They got me playing damn Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, man. But I think it'd be great for our old game. I think we'll go support it. But can the new head squad get into it? Because they, a lot of them don't be playing these fighters. These fighters, they bounce the fighters because so many fighters come on. When we have fighting, how many games we just bounce.
Well, it's because not everybody has those fighters. So when we do,
but I'm talking about but a lot of us have what like, oh, you don't got this. Oh, I got this, or this and that. Like Dead or Alive. We go back to play old game. Remember, we try to find out how to go play Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see, so it's like we got so many. That's why I said like the over kind of getting like the over because some people still love these old fighters. Some people still love the SNK fighters. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So it'll be great if it come out. I get it, but like my man from the Raider Nation, I'm gonna give it 2.5 chicky heads out of 5.
Oh, I don't even. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Yeah, that. Thank you for the fishing dog. That's great. Thank you. That was great. All right. Okay. So let me go to Slayer on this one. I don't know if you play a lot of fighters or anything like that, but what do you think about this whole situation with Konami reapplying the franchise pretty much, just buying, just making sure that the name stays with Konami?
Well, put simply, copyright law seems to be like if you don't use it, you lose it. If you let somebody make a fan game of your property and you don't put the smackdown on that, the law is basically eventually you're gonna lose it. And I've spoken to lawyers, so I'm very sure on this. Okay, and at very minimum, it's been a long time since there's been a Bloody Roar game. So at very minimum, they would have to do this, just to keep it in their pockets. But Juan should also brought up an excellent point. They're really about these pachinko games, and they will use whatever property under their purview to put in these pachinko games because that's how they're really making their money. Now, I'd love to see a Bloody Roar game, but this is way too early for me to even suspect that maybe they will or maybe they won't or whatever. They got to show and prove, and if it's a dope game, I'm going to be there to play it. And if it's not, well, it's not, but it's way too early for me to say one way or another. But hey, at least they still own the rights to it. But it's Konami, and Konami is real sus nowadays. So I couldn't even paint that as a positive thing that Konami has the rights to Bloody Roar. That's just facts on that.
Okay, all right. Op, what is your thoughts?
I never played the game. I didn't know it existed until so I can care less about whatever happens to it.
Cut off his mic.
I guess you got homework to do.
Nah, I'm good.
Man, come on, cut his mic
It was
off.
on GameCube, dude.
Okay, can't make a whole up there, man. Apparently,
I
you
played
sound
one
like
game
you're
on
a
the
big
GameCube,
fan.
and that was Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Oh man. Okay. All right. You got anything else to say? No, hell no. You ain't got nothing else to say. Nope. Get out of here, sucker. Get out of here. We can't. What? Okay, I'll get back to you because I know that you'll have a better point of view when I break this down for everybody, and hopefully, they'll get my mad genius on this because I think it's all connected. I think it's all connected. I really do. But anyway, all right, that breaks my heart. That really does. But okay, all right, PK, I know. You ain't gonna forsaken me, man. I know you're gonna talk to me about this bloody war. What do you think about this, brother?
So
Don't do it.
as much as
Don't do it to me.
I
Don't do
I
it to
would
me.
say
PK,
I
don't do
would
it to me.
say I'm optimistic,
Okay. Woo.
but realistically, knowing what Konami is doing right now,
Uh-huh.
Yu-Gi-Oh is the only game that they're putting out and selling,
Okay.
card-wise and game-wise.
Okay.
I think the only reason they went to patent this IP is for them to put it in their pachinko machines. Now,
Okay.
that does not mean there's not no interest there. And that does not mean that they can't license it because, yes, they are selling the Yu-Gi-Oh games, but there's one other thing that we're not talking about. They're not making those games. They're licensing someone else to make them for them. So that means that they could easily license a third-party company to reintroduce Bloody War as a small IP just to see if there's any interest. And don't get me wrong, I understand what 100 said, and yes, there's a lot of fighters, but he doesn't see the other side of that. Grand Blue came out of nowhere, and now it's one of the top fighters in the world.
Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him.
He came out of nowhere. Nobody knows nothing. It was just a mobile game.
Right.
And then they got with Artworks and created a fighter that's unbelievable. So it can happen under the right circumstances, but I'm not sure if that was their intention. Doesn't mean it won't happen because us in the Yu-Gi-Oh realm also felt like Konami wasn't going to put out another Yu-Gi-Oh game, but they did. It just took time, and we're in this environment where I don't know what direction Konami's going, but we do know they're not personally making any games. They're licensing them out. And that's my thoughts on that. But I do want it to happen. I am a Bloody Roar fan, so.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Hey, Ken Mega, just
yes.
to make the point even more clear, the last time there was a release of the series was 2003, but we'll call that 2004 because in certain areas it wasn't out till 04.
On the GameCube,
that's
right?
a long on the PS2.
I thought there was one on GameCube.
Yeah, there was, but that was before the PS2 version.
That's right. That is right. I've had damn near every last one except I thought that they made another one for the Wii.
Maybe it was a re-release or something. Maybe
it came out first. Yeah.
I thought it came on the Wii, but you know what I'm saying. But I mean, because when I had the Wii, but you know what the Wii was. The Wii was for my kids. It wasn't for me. So I never bought it. I just was
there was one on Xbox too. It says
it was one on the Xbox. I never on the OG Xbox.
Yeah, I still own that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
On the OG
Xbox. See, I was late to the OG Xbox era, so I never got it. I was hardcore on PlayStation at that time, so it was I probably would have had it on the PlayStation 2 and on the GameCube because I know that I got the GameCube for my son. So I was like, okay, so yeah, it's been a while. So just needless to say, it's been what, a good 10 years plus.
Like 13, 14, 15, 16 years.
Whew, okay. All right. So, okay. All right. Livewire, what is your thoughts about this?
I don't care.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, when I come back with my mad genius thought, hopefully you'll care then. All right. So, Crispy, I know that you play some fighters. I don't know how extensive your fighting games go, but were you ever a fan of Bloody War? And what do you think about this situation with Konami?
No, because I was playing Primal Rage when Bloody Roar was really successful. So I really have never got into it. The one thing I will say is that, number one, let's put it out there. Konami owns the rights. They actually absorbed Hudson Software, which was the original creator of the game. So they own the rights to it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing we have to think about, it's been so many years. The fact is that people have not played this game. So many people that game now have not played this game. And I played it. I wasn't a fan of it, like I said. But the point is that you have a fighter, which, I mean, what's the last fighter that came out that was really good? It's Mortal Kombat 11. Like me, I love Soul Calibur, but I'm not going to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Soul Calibur's great.
And you know what? I enjoyed the last Soul Calibur I enjoyed was 3, and then after that I was done. Okay. And that's because the moves become the same thing. And that's where I think, NetherRealm has a great advantage. They almost reinvent the game. And Mortal Kombat 11 has grabbed me because it feels old school, but it also feels new school all at the same time. And that's what I enjoy about it. Even though I get my butt whooped all the time, I really do. Okay. Like a lot of people think I'm great at the game. I am not. I pick random because I want to learn all these characters without having to sit there and practice with every one of them. You know what I mean? The point I have to make is that there is a time and a place for games like this, and I feel like they could reinvent it. And Konami's kind of been quiet. I mean, they have Pro Evolution Soccer. They have games that people constantly go to, but there's sometimes where you have to say we have to say, okay, we can still do those great things that people love. Why don't we go out of the box for a little bit? And it's been so many years, and they own the IP. It's pretty logical. The problem is I go back to, bigger companies doing the same things and saying, okay, we're going to renew the trademarks or whatever it may be. And then you're looking at it like, why are you doing this? And then all of a sudden we hear like Scalebound. Remember when Scalebound was renewed by Microsoft? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it disappeared. And it got everybody hyped up because, to be honest, I was very intrigued by that game. The way what I saw, what is it, 2015, I think, something, one of the later years, and I saw it on the E3 stage, and I was very intrigued by it because it had a very Western aspect with it, like almost like it felt like he was time travel, and it was very strange because he spoke so well in the game, and it had me intrigued. But then they said we're done, and then all of a sudden they renewed the trademark, and then you're like, so what are you doing with it? And the one thing is that all of a sudden after all these years, with fighters getting a little stale, I mean, like I said, I enjoy MK11. That doesn't mean that it's not the same thing.
Wait, hold on.
Years ago,
you said fighters are getting stale.
There are.
Now,
No, they're not.
Now they're getting
they're
stale?
not. The largest fighters in the world is Super Smash. You got Grand Blue.
Tekken.
You got
not stale, but I would say that plateaued. The genre has plateaued for a little bit. Maybe there's gonna be some innovation.
Evo had the largest entries of 2019
than anything else.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean like in terms of innovation and new ideas, new concepts.
Man, I'm talking to a lot of non-fighters on this panel.
No.
Come on now.
I would say
I'm with my man. I'm with my man.
Hold on.
What the hell did I just start?
Let PK finish. Let PK finish first.
I was gonna let him finish actually because this is a whole different conversation. But I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that I understand that not everyone plays enough fighters to know that the competitions are huge in the fighter realm. Huge. And the only reason to slow down is because of the situation we're going through. But I'm telling you now, it is bigger than ever.
Yeah.
It's bigger than it was when I was competing.
Right.
All right, that's all well and good, but you understand there's only so many spots for your attention, you know, and there's only so many games that can be that popular.
But
That's
but
successful.
pause.
And I'm not saying
Pause.
that.
What I'm gonna say,
And I'm not saying
what I'm
these
gonna say
other
to you.
games like Grand Blue and all of them are not dope. They are, and I do know of them.
But
But-
what I'm saying is, it might not be your attention, but there's a lot of people do play it. There is a league just
does
for
not
that.
add up to like it's like saying like you go into a game like Minecraft, for example, and you're gonna get your ass whooped constantly because somebody plays that game so many freaking times.
Minecraft is not even a it's not even the size of a game. Yeah,
No,
that's,
I'll put it this way.
That's not my point.
E3. I mean, Evo grows so much because what? Esports is growing so much.
right. And
You know,
what games? But 100. What games are in esports? What genre of games?
It's not growing.
Fighters and sports and shooters.
Yeah.
The same three usual suspects. You're proving my point exactly.
And then you gotta understand when you go to Evo playing old fighting games. They playing Smash on them.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
They might have the lower. They might have a tournament for them, but they ain't on the grand stage. The people still playing Smash Brothers. What's that? Smash Brothers off the GameCube. That bad boy be on.
No, they're not.
No,
They're not. They're playing.
last year.
Yeah, they're playing the new Smash Brothers on the Switch.
That don't be on the grand stage.
Yes, that does.
Yes,
they do.
was on the grand stage
That's
last
on the grand stage, but that's one of the top games in the genre.
Yeah,
but
that's a whole top. Yeah, that's the number one fighter.
Ultimate had more entries than any fighter combined, and that's all 10 of them combined.
But Smash Brothers is always going to be there.
Yeah, but it's the new one, not the old one.
What Street Fighter 5 will always go Street Fighter 5.
We got off topic.
Okay, we're going way off topic. Okay, thank you, Crispy. Because you was going way left, and I was trying to give you time to go back, but we're just going to get to my main point with this, so we can get to the next. No. It is what it is. Okay, but I'm going to make my theory, and then we're going to go to another topic. This is my thing on this, right? The whole Konami situation, the whole situation with Konami and with Bloody Roar and everything else, I think it all ties in together with the rumors, because the rumors are coming back again about Konami trying to sell off their properties. Now, I think that there's like three options to this. I really think this is real now. I really do. Because everybody, well, not everybody, but most people on the panel was bringing up the part about the Pinko machines, the casino machines. Pachinko. The casino slot machines or whatever, right? Ain't nobody buying no damn slot machines right now. Casinos are closed. For the most part, around the world, casinos are closed. You might find certain places here, certain places there that might sneak some people in, stuff like that. But for the most part, when you look at Vegas, 100, we were just talking about this. Vegas is a ghost town. So what do you think? Businesses right now are staying. They're being bearish. They're not buying shit. So what would lace up Konami's pockets quicker than anything, so they can make it through whatever tribulations that's going through with this pandemic?
Hey, that's Konami for you, though. They might sell off some stuff, do this, do that, make some
exactly.
That's typical Konami. That doesn't mean
you gotta understand. Konami will lay some people off before they gonna man. Come on.
Okay. What you just said? Okay, you guys just said, right? Hold on, listen to this. You guys just told me, and told the people that's listening, that Konami, the last Bloody Roar was 13 years ago. 16 years ago. Okay? When was the last Castlevania? When was the last Silent Hills? So you mean to tell me that that's why I think that this whole rumors thing, and this is, like I said, I got 3 points to this, and then y'all can say whatever y'all want to say after this, is that the one thing I do think that's the most realistic is that they're splitting off. Like, because even though I would love to see Bloody Roar on Xbox, that's synonymous with PlayStation. I could see PlayStation working a deal with Konami like they did with Street Fighter 6. We'll help fund the game. Just go ahead and get the patent. We'll sit there and get it up. We'll have somebody else do it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll have somebody else do it, but it's going to be an exclusive on our console like Street Fighter 5 is. And then when it comes to Silent Hill, I can see that whole situation going because PlayStation likes to do them scary games. But then I also see games like Castlevania and like Contra, something like that, going to Xbox. I think it's to the highest bidder, and I think that PlayStation and Xbox is bidding for this shit. I really do. I think that Konami is like, look, we're not making no money right now because we don't know how long this pandemic is going to run, so we can sell off some properties, and then with the way that we read through what was going on with how like so much of the property can go back to Konami stocks and all that other stuff. I think that maybe Xbox want to buy the whole thing from Konami, and PlayStation's like, no, I just want to get pieces and chunks right here, and then maybe Konami's like, look, we can do this, we can hustle both of them until we get what we want. Now you guys think I'm crazy about that?
With you. I have to disagree with you.
All right, cool.
The only reason why I say that is Konami was originated off of getting quarters from people. Okay. And what I'm saying to you is they see the microtransaction part of it. And the problem is that you don't have a fighting genre nowadays.
What?
Besides like a Dead or Alive.
Oh, come on,
Crispy.
Now I got to stop you because
truly,
you're sounding crazy right now.
I'm talking.
You're sounding crazy right now.
I'm talking leveling up your character and everything else to make it better than somebody else. And the thing about you don't realize is that
about leveling up your characters.
What do you mean leveling up your character?
You just said
making it better than somebody else. Making it better than someone else.
You can't. What do you? Okay, Crispy.
Isn't Injustice 2 do that?
I don't get what you're saying with that. What I'm trying to figure out. I'm not even trying to figure that out. I just don't. What I think that you're trying to say is that Fighters doesn't bring in the same type of interest as other genres. Which I have to.
No.
Okay. Well, okay. Please explain. Because I'm sorry.
Dude. What I'm saying to you is that at this point in our generation, okay, we're all old school gamers. We've all played on games that didn't involve microtransactions. At this point, okay, if you take a game that you could all of a sudden just like be playing somebody and have this extra power that nobody else has, they might be playing off that, and that's only the way I've seen Konami go because they're constantly gambling. They're gambling with what they're doing, whether it be actual gambling, but like Yu-Gi-Oh, stuff like that. Like there are people that play that game constantly, and they will destroy you. You know what I'm saying? And I almost feel like maybe that's because Bloody Roar hasn't been heard in so long that people don't understand what it was. You know what I'm saying? And now what it is could be whatever it wants to be.
Exactly. It has to start all over again like it was a brand new game, and because compared to some other really new game. Like it's ground zero all over again with that. So it doesn't even matter if it was a new game or not.
So they can try to, take an aspect that no other fighting game has done. Like microtransactions, we think of like season passes, stuff like that. But they go and say, okay, if you pay a premium price or whatever, you can level up during the game. So let's say you beat the hell out of somebody, you can beat the hell out of them more.
No, that's the mobile sense of it. No, console gamers gamers are not going to do that though.
But Konami has been in all these type of aspects.
But Konami,
like I said,
I don't see Konami.
They started arcade.
They
made you eat your quarters.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I disagree 100%.
They might be keeping to that theme.
No,
because in the end, they have to realize that they need to make money. They're not putting out super, AAA games. They are putting out this content that certain people like, and that's all I'm saying.
Okay, all right. BK, what was you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I agree with K Mega's thought process. What I would say is, first of all, Konami's not making any games. Again, they're licensing people to do these things. They're just sitting back collecting the checks. They're not making nothing. All the games they making or is made under their name is being licensed out. But I do agree, and I think I understand what K Mega said. And I think that is a possibility. That is a possibility. They could be licensing out these IPs to make some bread on the side, but they're not going to give them up. That's
No.
for sure.
Oh hell
But
no, no way.
But they will license them out if they see they don't have to do any heavy lifting and still make money just because they own the IP. So I see that, and I kind of agree that makes sense. If that's happening, right?
Right.
I can see that happening as a real idea. So I kind of see your point of view, and I think that's a possible reality. Before as what he was just saying is, I think what we should do is just step back and just realize that look what Konami's business practices is right now. They have not made any games, period. Yes, their Pico machines and Yu-Gi-Oh's their biggest things that they push, but they still don't make the video games. They license them out, so you gotta keep that in mind. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the whole point I want to say. And if anybody wanted to jump in before we get to
Oh
the next
yeah,
topic, go ahead.
yeah, I agree with you that Konami is definitely up to something. You know, what was it last week or maybe the week before when I was talking about how I had missed out on the subject when you first was talking about Konami that first time, and basically I chimed in with the opinion that all these rumors that we were hearing at that time, it just sounded like fanboy, like hopes and dreams and stuff. And then the next week we heard about Microsoft, and I didn't believe that as much either. But the fact that it happened back to back, even more so for on one hand, and then the other hand, I'm like, maybe there's something. Who knows? But now I'm starting to think Konami's up to something. They're just looking. They're like, we need to make money. How can we make a quick buck? Okay. We got Bloody Roar. It's been 16 years. Let's do something with that. But with that game, they're gonna have to start as if it was a brand new game that had no legacy, no name, because that's how long it's been. Some people who might be listening to us right now weren't even alive, when the last game was out. So they're gonna have to start all over with that. Secondly, what I was saying about Evo and other thing, I just want to clarify that point that the Evo stage, especially when you get to that main stage at the end with the top games that's in there, there's been many games they've had to remove off the list, who are worthy contenders that, I had lots of fans and such that people wanted to be able to compete in, and they didn't have them at Evo because they had to make room for other games like Street Fighter V and others, that were more successful and more popular. And even Mortal Kombat had to fight for respect. Remember Mortal Kombat 9, PK, you must remember the Street Fighter fans were talking dog shit about that game in comparison to Street Fighter in terms of the competitive scene, because it just wasn't Street Fighter, and it had to fight for that respect that it has now as a game, and it still doesn't have the respect that that Street Fighter has, and that's just an example of bias, really. But so for Konami to come out with Bloody Roar, let's say it was to be a great game and then be on the Evo stage, that's going to take a lot of work. And if it's that hot, I'll be playing it. You'll be playing it. Everybody else will be playing it if it's deserving of that. But I haven't seen anything yet. But an inkling that they just repaid for the license or whatever. Maybe it was going to expire. Like I said, 16 years. Who knows? But hey, I'd love to see a new Bloody Roar. Doesn't mean it's happening. Doesn't mean it isn't happening. We really don't know. So we're just gonna have to fall back on any expectations until we get more info.
Right.
So we should really move out on this.
Right. Yeah. No, I just want to make one more point on this, and then we can move on. And I'm going to skip the whole CD Projekt Red and just go straight into the person with that was giving out misinformation. But I want to say this: fighting games have found their new niche or the new niche. I don't know how you want to pronounce it, but it's like this. And you can probably started with Capcom with what they did with Tekken versus Street Fighter, or Street Fighter versus Tekken, Cross Tekken. But I look at it more familiar with Killer Instinct and their method. And now everybody's used that same method, and that's the season pass. That is what's the new like I got what Crispy was saying to a certain point about the coin up thing, but it's not going to be microtransaction because fighters, even though fighting there's still people that love fighting games. That's not a genre that can do what Activision does or what Destiny does or what like certain genres can get away with. Fighting
Oh
games.
hell no, the fans will not have
Yeah,
that.
fighting fans don't do that. They won't support that. So the best way to do that is by season passes. So all you got to do is present Bloody Roar, reintroduce the characters, get everybody see it. If you see that playing on Unreal Engine 4, trust me, everybody on this panel that's played a fighting game is going to be like, holy shit, I want that game now. Because you just think about the concept of what you can do turning into animals and fighting and combos and everything, 60 frames per second, boom, 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 and it's getting ready for the new consoles. And then you got the classic characters, and then they can put in guest characters, they could do whatever. Bruh, that's it's another fighting game that gets thrown into the rest of the fighting genre, and it keeps it alive. And the one thing that fighters has, just like another genre, that's shooters, they can last the test of time. Single player games, certain other, you know what I'm saying, and even in only a few shooters, certain shooters can only do what fighters can. Card games can do it as well. They can last the test of time. There was somebody on the panel that's made this point about, well, there's people that want to play old fighters because you know why? Fighters stand the test of time. And then you got all this crossplay coming in. That's the only thing that's been holding fighting games back is crossplay.
Amen to that.
You open crossplay, you have season pass for any fighter, it's gonna cause traction. Plus you got Evo that's becoming bigger than ever. Trust me, it's a win. It's a damn win. As a fighting fan, yeah. Go ahead.
Not to mention, I'm sorry for interrupting, but you made a point. They also do something different than any other game genre do. They do a lot of guest characters.
Right.
And guest characters attract people who never play fighting games to play them.
Excellent point.
Yes, Smash does it on a different scale, but I'm saying Netherlands Studios did a great job with Injustice. I mean, whoever thought Ninja Turtles was going to fight Batman? I mean, you have Spawn on. I mean, look at Tekken.
Right.
Negan, come on, you would have never seen that happen.
Never seen that. No. You never. And another thing
Hamaru versus Mitsurugi. You would have never thought that back in the day.
Oh my God, even if they advertise it that
you
way.
would have never thought of that back in the day.
Right. Look
and
at
all I'm saying is that.
Look at the cross tag game. The tag of the Blaze Blue tag. Cross tag game. I forgot to give it the overall name of it.
Yes, the Artworks.
Yeah, the Artworks game. I got it on PC. It's fire. Like, I mean, these games have a lot. Like, just think, if let's say PlayStation gets a hold of it, right? And they got the exclusive rights to that game, and then they put in, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a character that can turn into an animal or something. I don't know. You put a guest character from the PlayStation universe into there. People are going to buy it just because of that character. You get it on X if Xbox got the rights to it. Saberwolf. Or Raptor or some crazy shit like that. You can put the damn Battletoad on it. You can sit there and have a whole bunch of different shit on there that'll get the interest of gamers who don't really like fighters. Or you know what I'm saying? Just because of what you said. Yes, the season pass is the new thing for fighters. It definitely is. So I don't know. I'm getting off this subject because I could talk about that shit all night long. I love me talking about some fighting. Phil, let's get to it. I know you're not a big fan of fighters, but you got to start believing in them. I'm telling you. And bring us some Killer Instinct. We need it. All right, here we go. This probably might be the last topic for the night. Let's get to it. At the beginning of the week, there was this whole crazy situation going on where there was a dev from Crytek that gave out information saying that the PlayStation 5 was going to be the more superior console, and of course, it caused a storm through the social media, had media going crazy about it, all of that, and it begged the question of like how serious is, I mean, like, who's lying in this situation? Is it the developers themselves? Because how could they lie when they're the ones that's working on these games? Or is it staff? Is it Microsoft that's coming out and saying that they have the most powerful console, but yet with everything that we've known about what's in both consoles between the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, it always comes down to someone saying something that the PlayStation 5 is somewhat comparable. And now when you have a dev from Crytek that's had a game that's worked that was a that worked on which Crytek worked on Rise, Son of Rome, which you would think that, well, look at it, they got to be telling the truth. Well, come to find out that Crytek wasn't very happy with it. And come to find out also that the person that said this was only working on mobile games, hasn't been working there that long, and now is no longer with the company. So, and everything that he said in the interview got shut down like the ATF. So I'm going to go to you, operations. What is your thoughts about this whole situation, man? What does this do to fans of either console about this whole power narrative? And when you got devs that's coming out here and saying this, uh, I mean, what does this do overall?
Well, I think everybody should learn from this that these little tit for tat wars we have with devs says this our developer says that. I think what people should take away from this is just wait until the console comes out, see what these games do at this point, because these battles of he say she say right now are just ridiculous at this point. Because we all know developers mostly have their own biases at this point. Like he clearly did. He didn't even work on the damn. As far as I can tell, he wasn't even touching his damn system at this point. Very offhand like comments from his other developers working on it. He probably just made up his own thing from there. I don't know for sure, but this is a whole stupid situation at this point. Like, this is really what happens when your bias gets a hold of you at this point. He just really just shut up, just left it alone at that point, regardless of how much he feels towards PlayStation or Xbox. He really should just left it alone at this point. And it's real funky how like I'm not sure on all the details, but I think like only certain parts of it were translated from the interview.
Right.
So they really just cherry pick what they want people to hear at this point, which is bullshit.
Right, and the article came that cherry picked it was from was PlayStation, was a Playstation
Push play or
magazine.
something like that?
Yeah, Push Play.
Yeah, so of course that explains it all right there.
Or Push Square, something like that. I forgot what the name of them.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to situation just dumb. Like, I'm not sure if it's confirmed that he lost his job. I think the same position was had an opening like a day or so later on this point. So it really explains it all right there. But yeah, people just wait until the consoles come out and we see what the games do. It's enough of this developer said this developer said that at this point, because it's just dumb. Like earlier on this week, we heard, not earlier on this week, but when the specs dropped for PS5, we had Sony developers coming out capping for it. I'm like, of course you're going to. You've worked on a console. You know what it's capable at this point. You're going, quote unquote, damage control for it after that shit show that happened with Mark Cerny. So, and people were taking that role with it at this point. And a couple people out here, I'm not going to say names because we'll just do it on this podcast, are just lying to themselves and their fans at this point, saying like the PS5 and the engines that the developers work on are some of the most advanced engines out there in the industry that not even Xbox Series X can handle, not even high-end PCs can handle right now, or horseshit like that. At this point, is people just need to fall back and just wait because it's getting ridiculous out here. But that's all I really got to say about it.
Okay, all right. Livewire, what is your thoughts about this? This individual? Now, does this make devs look bad? Because of course, a lot of people listen to what devs say. I mean, we listen to a dev. You know what I'm saying? And I have a show with a dev and with a developer. So, I mean, does it put them in a bad state? And then, like, when you listen to other podcasts where there's developers and programmers, they'll come out and they'll say, hey, they're not afraid of the power narrative of what the PlayStation is doing. But then you got on the other end a developer that used to work for Crytek bring this up, and even though he got fired, but that still gives the crazy impression that he's not the only one. I think the guy from Gearbox said the same thing. So, I mean, what does this do overall? I mean, isn't it crazy?
This is hashtag when being a fanboy gets your ass fired.
I can agree with that. Hashtag
when being a fanboy goes wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what it was. Like somebody just let their emotion. I mean, because you gotta understand, more than likely this person's young. You would hope so. You wouldn't think somebody who's a veteran make this kind of novice mistake, but you never know.
I think he was a novice. Yeah.
But he was emotional. And who's to say? I see. I'm not privy to like how exactly he gave this information out. Was it an actual interview, or was he talking to somebody he knew, and then they were like, "Can we have you as a source?" You know what I mean? Like, because to be honest, this falls on not only the dev, but it falls on the person who wrote this article based off of this. Or was it an article or was it just a tweet?
It was an interview.
Interview.
It was an interview for somebody out of country, and then it got here to the states because somebody picked to choose some of the wording and put it in their
Yeah,
magazine.
because to me it's kind of bullshit because it's almost like it'd be like if somebody was like, "Oh, LeBron James don't like his teammates," and be like, "Credible coach," and then you find out there's just somebody who works in the locker room that cleans up jock straps, and and the conversation he was eavesdropping on was totally taken out of context. Like, it shit doesn't even make any sense. Like, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just sourcing people that have no real relevant information, you know. And I understand, like, people will just run. You know what it is? People will grasp on anything. It doesn't matter if it's good or not. They don't even like check the source. They just want the information. They'll rebuttal the shit later because it's all about traffic now. So, they'll take it as like if they have just the inkling of a story, and that they could just say, "Oh well, we didn't know." That's all they want to be able to do is say, "We didn't know," and yeah, we're sorry about that, and this is connected to whoever. But as long as we got that traffic, that's all that matters, bro. Well, they've been doing that shit for years, bro. You think about it, like how many times cats get uh, um had shit where they get arrested or something like that, and they'd be like, this person murdered somebody or this person did something, and then that shit front page news. But then it was like, oh well, we found out that was somebody else. They don't put that shit on front page. That should be in the back page on some little like, oh, we don't fucked up.
If they
Like
do it.
yeah, that's if they do it, and that's only if they respect the person that was framed. You know what I mean? If they don't respect them or they don't give a shit about that person, they don't give a fuck. They just let that man just sit in shit. You know what I mean? So to me, I mean, obviously, people just have to think before they do shit. I mean, obviously, the publication they don't give a shit that their strategy is by any means necessary. But the dev just should have known better. I mean, and I'll say this, it should make other devs aware, lower level lower level devs. Like, man, just be mindful of what you say in interviews, because they'll take it and spin it, whether or not that's what he wanted to have done or not. Like, maybe he thought he was going to get some fame for it, or maybe he just was just talking out his ass. Who knows? But the fact that I'm pretty sure whenever he gave this interview, maybe on a Wednesday, he wasn't thinking he was going to be fired by next Wednesday. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Right. And he probably just thought like maybe, and never, and he might be in a situation where he is such a fan of PlayStation to where he may think that this might land him to his actual dream job. Maybe he just wanted to get in and start working get into the business, and then maybe he just was like wanting to get to Sony. I have
No,
no idea. I have no
no, you
idea.
know why that you know that why that don't work?
Why?
Because um, I don't know any girl that was like, oh man, I want that dude. He like cheating on chicks. Nah, ain't no girl named
I'm not
White
trying to
Man.
kill your point, but ironically, there's a lot of women like that.
Yeah,
That
I
that
was
kill
gonna
your
say
point.
where I was
Kill
like,
your point.
you
No,
gotta
no,
bring
no,
it home. You gotta bring
no,
it
no, no.
home.
What I'm saying, worth a damn though.
They don't care sometimes.
No, I'm
Like
saying a woman that's worth a damn. If she
What he's
did some
saying is
things,
that
that's what I'm
you
saying.
make them feel good, and
No,
you,
no,
you
no,
make
no,
them
no.
not think about it.
No, that's not what I'm not.
okay,
Look,
please explain this. Please explain this for me live.
like if you think that Sony's going to take on this guy
Hmm.
after he did this, I don't know, because who's to say that he won't flip and do something? Sony does something to him,
Oh, I
and all of
get your
a sudden
point. I mean, that's a good
he
point. That's a
becomes
good
a
point.
hardcore Stadia guy now. And
Mhm.
he's talking all this shit about Sony because now he's a fan of Stadia. You know what I mean? You don't,
Yeah, you just don't know his temperament. You're absolutely right. That's a
yeah,
great
you
point.
don't know people's temperament. You just, I mean, we don't know shit about this dude. This dude could be, you know, like these, like these dudes that was hardcore Xbox fans, and now all they do is suck off Sony. Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit happens, bro. We seen a couple of guys do that. These guys came out this year. Xbox got secret sauce, and it's gonna do this and that, and PlayStation's trash. Everything about PlayStation's trash. Then all of a sudden, Xbox didn't do what they wanted to, and Phil Spencer don't want to do party chats with them no more. And all of a sudden now, everything on Xbox is trash, and PlayStation is the greatest console ever made. It was birthed by God. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you also got to remember they got they're assassins for hire right now, so they sold their soul.
they ain't nobody assassin for hire. They just out there
Well,
talking shit.
I'm saying that in the sense of just because what I'm saying they're just mercenaries. They're not saying anything bad about a mercenary because I don't want a mercenary to come to my house and fuck me up. I'm just saying in the sense of like the person has no allegiance to anything. So it's just like, look, it's all about the dollar, and the dollar
Yeah, but those guys,
was with that
yeah,
switch
but most of
sides.
those guys are just yelling in the wind. You know what I mean, like nobody's listening to them anyway. People argue with them, but on some real shit, like their opinions have no value. You know what I mean?
You know what? Jazzy Noob. Chris has been Chris. You got to give him credit for credit is due. It may sound crazy and wild or whatever, and maybe some of the stuff that may come from maybe 100 and maybe from a diehard PlayStation fan, they would probably think that that's on the same realm. But they're true to who they are. They haven't changed. They haven't done anything to make you think that they will not be like Chris being diehard PlayStation fan, 100 being a diehard Xbox fan. The people I'm talking about is the ones that is what Live is bringing up is the people that were so diehard for one side and then just changed up like overnight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? They had a couple of gripes, and then next thing you know, it just turned into, you would think that some of these people would be like, well, I'm going to be leaning more to this because they offering something better. But I still have love for this console because for this other console because I've always played it. I repped it, stuff like that. Those type of people I can listen to. I can't listen to anybody that's on one end that was all about. That's just like if 100 went completely just like he said, and the next thing you know, man, I'm all about the Nintendo Switch, that Switch life. What? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? Like,
Yeah.
It's like basically saying, look, I said all of these things about a certain console, okay,
See,
and that I enjoyed, and then all of a sudden, I maybe never played the other console, even though I acted like I did, and then you're gonna sit there and flip the script and talk shit about the things that you pointed out, years ago or a year ago or whatever. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about those
But
fake people
Right.
that are just looking for clicks.
But see, even with 100, like 100 don't do like even though he might like Xbox more, he would never shit on a game that he actually likes. Like
Right.
he
Right.
never do no bullshit like that. You hear motherfuckers talking about a game that they said they played, they said they hated, and all of a sudden turn around and say it's the greatest game ever made.
Right.
Bro, that's bullshit, dog. Like, what game have you ever played that you beat and completed, and then turned around and played it again and was like, you know what, I was wrong. I do like this game. Like, no.
No, nobody's like that. Nobody's like that. I mean, it's just
Bro, I'm telling you, I played Death
nobody's like that.
Stranded. I'm never gonna tell you that game is.
I was
that shit
wrong.
was dog
Hell no.
No.
Nobody's gonna say that.
No.
No, nobody's gonna say that.
No.
Like me, I would say that I was wrong.
It would be different if you played the game and then like you maybe you played the first 2 hours of it, and sometimes the game don't get good until it weighs in, like a game like Days Gone. I'm not saying it's a good game, but it's
I like
better.
Days Gone actually. I mean, but I played it late. I played it in December.
But
of
Days
last
Gone
year.
is a better game after the first 10 hours than it is in the first 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that shit is a slow grind,
It
and then
is slow.
once you get past that, it gets better. I'm not saying it gets great, but it gets better.
Right. It's a
So I
lot
can
playable.
understand if somebody was like in the first 10 hours, like, yo, this is a dog shit game, I can't stand it. But then actually got past them 10 hours, and then was like, you know what, this game ain't bad, you know. But for somebody to have the game, play the first 10 hours, then beat the game, then say it's a dog shit game, then turn around and say it's a masterpiece, bro, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, that's for
But see,
on the public.
yeah, but see, lives are just like me. Like I told people like, oh man, hype for Gears Tactics. That's not my type of game. I love Gears, but that's not my type of game.
Yeah, but
But
no,
I'm not bashing it. I'm not bashing. I just say that's what you like. You
no,
know,
because you know why it's different, 100. It'd be like when a lot of people then said they weren't interested in Halo Wars, but some people that we played with said they weren't interested, actually played it and was like, yo, this game is actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
But until you actually play the game, you know, that's when you make your determination. Me and K make Detroit, 2 Humans was gonna be dog shit.
No,
We
it
played that
wasn't.
shit, and that was like one of our favorite
I
games.
ain't never thought it
It
was
wasn't
good.
Detroit.
I just said it was. I
It
just
wasn't
said it was
Detroit.
a
It was God of.
$60.
It was God of War. It was God of War
No,
that I
I
was scared of.
definitely thought Detroit was.
Yeah, no, I was bigging
I
up
thought
Detroit.
it was a $60
I was
Telltale's
bigging up
game, and I was
Detroit.
like, I won't
Exactly.
pay
That's
$60
I
for
thought it
Yeah,
was
it.
gonna
yeah,
be
no,
just like that.
I was
like,
bigging up. I was bigging
shoot.
up Detroit. Now, God of War,
Because
that's a different story. I was not. I was very
still to this day,
scared about the game.
Detroit is probably my favorite PlayStation game I
It
played.
is definitely
Ain't
one
much
of them.
gameplay. I mean, granted, most PlayStation games don't really have great gameplay. That's not what they're known for. It's their story and their graphics. That's really what it is.
Right.
God of War may have more gameplay than others, but that's why I was like, yo, Detroit surprised me. You know?
Hmm. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Great point, Livewire. All right. What's your thoughts about this, man? I mean, where is this going, man?
I already answered.
Oh, you know what? I lost track. I lost track. At first, when
Yeah,
I said,
we
didn't I
went
say
on a
something to
tangent.
Op first? I sure did. I went to you first because you was the most quiet last time. All right, let me go to you, PK. Sorry about that, Op.
No, you good. I'm good.
So, sorry, it was a Crytek engineer or coder, right? That
Right.
had originally had the interview, and I do believe that all the tweets were erased and deleted
Yes,
at
they
this
were.
time.
Mm-hmm. They are.
So, when you listen to what was being said, there's a lot of things that don't add up. Remember, Crytek is a different um, engine or a engineering platform than what is universally used like Unreal. And the reason why Unreal is the most popular because it's easy and scalable. You can put it on multi-platforms without an issue. Crytek is not. So
They tried to.
so when you think about it, it's kind of like using the engineering platform. What is the universal one used for? I'm trying to remember it. I can't think of it right now, but basically everyone uses this particular platform because everyone already uh, has it to where that's a standard. So you can just plug and play, just like Universal, the Windows Universal platform is plug and play. But Crytek is not. It's a niche specific kind of engine. So when you think about this guy coming from this particular platform talking about it's hard to code from, well, it depends. What are we talking about? What are we comparing to? So some things are just not adding up in that perspective. You have not heard anybody that uses Unreal say anything like this. You haven't heard anyone who uses their own specific engine like EA say anything like this or even hinted to anything like this, right? I don't think they would come out and say it, but more like hinted. So there's a lot of things that just don't add up. Seemed like he was more disgruntled than anything. And he seemed like he had a slight bias the way, or at least the way it read, right? We don't know if there's words taken out of context or not, because this was a guy in Persian. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't somebody in the US or anything. It was translated. And like you said, it could have been pick and choose certain words to make it sound like a narrative that we want to run with. It might not be entirely what he said. It might have been like, this is what I'm used to using because this is what we worked on. We don't know what games he worked on. Get what I'm saying? So we don't know if he's just unfamiliar with the Xbox hardware because he didn't get to work with it.
Well, they said he's a mobile gamer, so that was what.
Okay, well, being a mobile gamer doesn't help his argument.
Mm-mm.
If you're a coder, and depending on where you're writing and what engineer platform using, it shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to plug and play. And the way I understand it is that the way the Xbox is designed, it's doing most of the heavy lifting. So usually they can just plug in all of their stuff into onto the platform, and the platform will do most of the back heavy lifting for them, and it should be easy to develop for. That's just what I've seen and heard from what was said. Of course, this is what was officially said from Microsoft. Nothing was officially said from Sony, and that's what we got to take 2 steps back and look at. We still haven't even seen the console, let alone what capabilities you can do to design for this console for its game wise. Yes, we hear a lot of people saying, yeah, it's better to develop for it, but when you look at the trend, it's always someone who either worked for Sony or on a Sony's or a Sony website or coming from their writers, right? It seemed like this is their point of view, and they have every right to have that point of view. But again, it's just an opinion and not factual based.
All right.
So, and so at the end of the day, I would say it's hard to say what really happened, but something did go down to the point where he had to delete all that information from the Twitter page and from the internet. So somebody wanted that gone because somebody got smacked. I don't know who got smacked, but somebody definitely did.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So something he said was wrong, foul, or something happened that he shouldn't have done, and it caused some and I always say that you're free to say whatever you want, but you're not free from the consequences. So you got to pay attention to that.
Absolutely right. Facts. 100% facts. Okay. All right. 100. I didn't get to you. What is your thoughts about this guy, man?
I'm gonna put it this way. Y'all gotta quit believing with the stuff that's on the interweb because there's somebody is a publication. Y'all get how many times y'all get hit over the head with this?
What are you talking about?
A lot of people they go sit there and you go run with this story and this and this and that. They hear this.
Are you speaking in general?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised of it because guess what? Journalism they turned to clickbaitism now.
Okay.
They didn't turn it to YouTube.
Thank you.
I got what you're saying now because at first I was like, what? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't understand why y'all were confused though. But
Yeah. Go ahead. 100. Okay.
So they need clicks to get that hit to that web. They need something. So think about it, that person that worked for that publication probably wasn't gonna get in trouble. That was probably your friend, like they said, y'all said could have a private conversation, all right. As long as you don't use my name or something like that. And stuff like that. Look what it did. It rattled the interweb. It rattled it over a dude that makes mobile games. Not saying he couldn't code for a AAA title, whatever. But when I saw it, I actually started buzzing up laughing because I'm like, what do you got? What? Because that's why I don't like the word sources no more. I'm tired of hearing the words, I got this source. This source told me. And I told people this story. I'm like, if I was in the NBA and somebody told me, you asked to be traded. Who told you that? A source? Or if you didn't hear this out of my mouth, you need to get out of my face. Because I would have told you if I wanted to be traded. You see how I got a smile on my face. But that's what they do. And I think sometimes they entice these guys to do it. I think sometimes matter of fact, say the guy was a good friend. Sometimes these journalists will throw somebody on the bus. You know what I'm saying? Now I knew dude sit there and he took all his emails off, all his Twitters off and stuff like that. Didn't want the man and during these times to lose his job. Hope he gets another one. But that's why I don't believe everything, especially when I look at what these websites are called. You know what I'm saying? If I'm hearing gaming news from comicbooks.com, I'm believing that with a grain of salt. or this is PlayStation.c.s.net and all this other stuff. I'm like, who is this dude? Where you getting this information where it's other guys that got access to other people to get access to that and tell them in secretly you can say about this but skip about that. Because there's been people saying that it's been developers, the real developers came on and said, oh yeah, we love how to do, working on the Xbox One X. You had some developers say that. But, but they come from reputable websites, but it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? If it would have came from Push Square, you already know that's pony all day.
It did. It came from Push Square. Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
pony
who it
all
was.
day.
That's who it was. Right.
Oh, Push Square. Oh no. You got to take they need that click.
Yeah.
I never even heard of that website until this rumor came out. But as soon as I
Oh
saw the
no,
name,
they've been around for a while. Yeah,
they pony out.
Yeah,
they just like PlayStation.
I imagine, but once you hear a name like that, it's instantly out of mind, man. I'm not even paying attention no more.
Well, see, a lot of guys do what I do. Like I got this news thing. This news feed is called News 360, so I can say I want all the video game news for the day. I can just scroll and I can see pictures and different articles, and I can see where it's from, and I just click on it and I can read it from there. And a lot of people are doing that, and people are making up things. I had a person said I saw an article today that said that Microsoft is using something. They was talking about something that happened last month, and they acting like it was brand new today. And I'm like, Microsoft, it talked about the specs, I think last month, a couple of weeks ago. Why is it brand new news today? Because they need the clicks. And they just like a click and bait YouTuber now. What it is. So you got even the IGNs. IGN shot the pool, you know what I'm saying? 52 fake out. I listened to was that Shaggy and them with old, Mr. Brian. Me and Brian got into it a couple of weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, in a chat. And I got at him, and I respectfully got at him. You call him out his name or nothing. I called him a pony, but that's all I called him. But that's how he know it's what he is. But we had a thing, and I made him bow down because I'm like, you guys are clickbaiting. Why are you not giving the same coverage to when Sony comes out with someone? You ain't giving the same coverage with Xbox. I'm tired of hearing, well, what you call it is trash. Inside Xbox is trash. Well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't like soap opera, so I don't watch it. I don't like love and hip hop. I don't watch it. But I ain't bashing to say it's trash. It is trash to me, but it might be a treasure to you. Like I said, I'm playing. I watched Inside Xbox. I didn't even know that game was coming to Game Pass. I was like, oh man, I got up just to download it. So it's like, man, it's clickbait. It's clickbait alley now. So you got to watch what you read, how you read it, who's this guy. Sometimes you might have to find out, is they just giving journalism degrees, or if this person's a journalist, because a lot of these guys are not journalists. They're YouTubers. And how many journalists turn into YouTubers? Look at Comedy Funny Games. Did they turn into YouTubers?
Pretty much, yeah.
Look at IGN. They're YouTubers. They're not doing real journalism anymore. They got to get that guy. They'll get that guy that's not into racing games. We'll sit there and review that racing game. Yes, he's going to put that racing game.
The least.
Right.
Well, because he don't like racing games. Like, you can't tell me to go play the original Final Fantasy VII on when I'm not into real turn-based games, and then I go, we're going to have a review from all these years, and you have me review it? No, I don't like them type of games. So why would I want to review it? I can't give you, because I already have a bias. I'm already biased because I don't like it. So I already have a bias effect to it. I don't care if it was 17 years ago or if it was tomorrow. I don't like turn-based RPGs. I just don't like them. But don't have me review them. And that's what they're doing. They're having these kids coming out of college and reviewing these games, and they're not really no gamers. They play a little, but they just getting that. They getting that check. They need that money because they got to pay them student loans off. You know, they like video games, but they ain't in love with video games. When we had the Game Pros and the Nintendo Powers and the Xbox magazines and all that, and that's what Shaggy came from, Xbox magazine. You heard when you read the articles, you heard passion behind them. You saw passion. This made me go get Smash Brothers. This made me go get a Nintendo GameCube, even though I can't stand that controller. But you saw the passion in the writing. But see, now you don't. There ain't no passion because
Yeah, I feel you on
nobody's
that.
not doing that no more.
Because it seems like people are just out here paying their bills. They're not really. I mean, that's it. Like bro, imagine how pissed off you would be if think about Kobe, right? Imagine if Kobe played just to get a check. He wasn't trying to be the best player. Just played to get a check. He got talent, but he wouldn't be Kobe. He'd just be some dude that play basketball, bro. Like you don't have that many Adam Schefter uh like those dudes is ain't many out here anymore. Like cats that actually be about the games. You know, everything is about it's about clicks, but it's always about a narrative, bro. That's the thing that kills me. Like, bro, if we're gonna judge things, let's keep it balanced. And it's sometimes about a narrative, and then it's all about the nostalgia. Like like we got even with the whole Final Fantasy VII right now. Everybody's geeked up about Final Fantasy VII, but unless you really was a Final Fantasy VII fan, that shit not really all that impressive. I mean, but it's not going to be judged that way. It'll be judged like this incredible game. But bro, the acting ain't where it's supposed to be. The mechanics is not in really all that innovative. It's similar to Final Fantasy 15.
It's the same in name only and general plot, and even that, some elements are different.
Yeah, like they could have done more with it than what they did. You
Well,
know?
they added a lot of side quests. I
No,
kind
I
of want to
mean,
hear what Addict got to say about it because where everybody else is got it for, and I'm still going to get the game. I mean, because
I'm not
I
saying the
love the
game's
fighter, but
bad. What I'm
no, no,
saying is,
no.
but I've never played Final Fantasy, right? I'm not a Final Fantasy fan at all. I played 15, but Final Fantasy 7 just wasn't my cup of tea. Never really cared about it.
Mhm.
So playing the demo, like when you and
Barrett.
when Await were like really into it, I'm just sitting there looking at it like I guess, but it's not really. I'm not seeing what y'all are seeing because I don't have the nostalgia for it. Every like if somebody's like a diehard Sonic the Hedgehog fan and plays some great Sonic the Hedgehog game, but it's not better than something that we've already played. But because they're so into Sonic the Hedgehog, they think it's like the best thing ever. It's like Spider-Man. Spider-Man of PS4. It was a good game, but it wasn't like game of the year type shit. But it was a good game. But like a lot of the mechanics that we saw on Spider-Man PS4, we've already seen that shit in other Spider-Man.
No,
You
you've
know what I
seen
mean?
it in Arkham. And that's what you've seen it in.
Well, we've seen it in
Especially the fighting.
other Spider-Man games too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
that was
mean,
it wasn't really that new.
and they took shit out. You couldn't fight on the side of buildings and shit. I don't know what that was about because I remember
I'm sure
the
you can do it in
Spider-Man
the next
was
Spider-Man though.
you used to be able to like stand on the wall and like fight people while you standing on the. They took that shit out. But whatever. I'm just saying like it was a great game, but people just I guess because it's a mix of the Marvel and it's been some time since we got focused Spider-Man game. I won't say a Spider-Man game in general. They just had that other the other two not be spoken of Spider-Man that they had for like two that that two movie series, but you know maybe people getting they feel so they judge shit like this shit is like amazing or if it's not their cup of tea it's the worst thing ever. I mean like I don't know, like the balance ain't there, man.
No, you're right. It's not. All right, we got two more. Crispy, go ahead, and then Slayer's going to be the one that's going to send us home. What is your thoughts about the gentleman that went ahead and gave out this information, and now he's no longer with Crytek? I mean, what does this do to just the whole thing about with the media, with developers, with like what Hunter was talking about with people saying they got sources? I mean, does this put a dark cloud around everything because it seems like everything is just so because everybody's going to pick and choose what they want to hear anyway.
And that's kind of what I want to go at, is that we all have our preference, and I completely understand that. We all want to play on what we want to play on, okay? And the thing is, when I saw Push Square, I said, "Yep, this is bullshit." And the only reason why I say that is because I have seen Windows Central and stuff like that go and call out Xbox games, okay? And I've seen them, and it's not like out there in your face, but if you go and read the article, it has been called out multiple times. And I felt like they were just going off of what this dude said, okay, which he clearly had a preference, because now everything's deleted. And from what I've heard is that he didn't play on any dev kits, and he has no clue. And he just decided to say what he said, which is pretty sad. I mean, you're going to be in this, environment, and you didn't even touch anything that you're telling people you touched. There's a problem here, okay? And that's why he's no longer employed by them, right? So in the end, what I think about is that we all have preferences. And I look, you love your single player, which I get it. You love that. They're great games. A lot of them are third person story driven. I understand that. But you have to understand that I love my multiplayer games. Okay, which I used to love on PlayStation, because I played SOCOM. I played all these games that almost made me a multiplayer gamer. You know what I mean? You have to understand that your loyalty is blind. Okay? And it comes down to even journalism nowadays. You're looking for the clicks. You have this huge user base that is going to see PlayStation in the subtitle or whatever it may be, and you are going to go to it, and you're going to click on it, and that's all they give a shit about. And that's the problem I have. I can't take anything into fruition, and I feel like people might, not agree with me, but most Xbox gamers, when they don't like something, they freaking say it. I'm not saying Xbots or people that just, constantly say Xbox does great things all the time, but I'm talking about people that want the console or the game they're playing or whatever it may be to do more and to be better. And I feel like I have never seen, at least in the past year and a half, PlayStation gamers call out their console and say, you are not doing what we want you to do. The only time I've seen that in the past year and a half is when crossplay was involved and people that actually enjoyed the game that was in the realm of what they were talking about, like Destiny or something like that. And they said, we want to be able to do this on my PC or whatever. And that's the thing. Like, I hear more PlayStation-centric gamers talking about PC and how Xbox is already going to PC, and yet they talk about PlayStation half the other time, and then all of a sudden, there's nothing about Xbox. There's nothing. It's oh, Xbox is going to PC, screw them, or they're not trying to support their exclusives or whatever it may be. Dude, we are all gamers, okay? And we are obviously in a hard time.
My boy
all
went to the dude. He's serious.
We are all in we are all in a hard time, okay?
Right.
And I see bullshit. That's all I see. And that's why I don't even respond to it half the time. I'll have people tag me and I'll be like, that's bullshit. I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I'll put the GIF out there and I'll be like, that's bait or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? That's all I really do.
That's one of my favorite GIFs right there. Is the one with the dude from Mad Max? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, freaking what's his face? Oh God, I can't remember. But the point is that we're all in our own preferences, and I understand that. The problem is that social media has blown it out of proportion. You know what I mean? And especially now that we are all sitting at home. Not me personally, but a lot of us are sitting at home, and you could constantly looking for content or something to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're constantly looking at that. And when I saw Push Square did that, I said I can't really, like, intuitively put my opinion out there when it's almost like Windows Central, let's just Jez, I'll tell you, Jez called out all the problems that I had with Gears 5, called them all out. And I didn't even experience them yet because he released it before I even played the game. You know what I'm saying? And every problem that he had with the game, I experienced. You know what I mean? And it was subtle, but I would rather call it out so I can make the game better. And I feel like a lot of PlayStation guys just want the console to be the greatest in the world. And that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's not a horrible thing. It's not. But if you're going to be logical, if you want them to do better, you got to call them out. And we've experienced this. We've been through it. Like I was a PlayStation gamer before, and I didn't have social media to go and say, hey, you're not doing this right. You're not thinking about the people that want to play multiplayer. You're not thinking about these things. And you know what? They've come out with some amazing games, and I'm not taking that away from them. But the problem is that you're not making a ton of revenue like Xbox is. You think you are. You sold a ton of consoles, but guess what? Those consoles for a majority of the time were probably at even or a loss, or yeah, maybe you made some money in the past couple of years, and that's why they've been pushing them. But the problem is that you haven't shown us the new console, and Xbox showed it, what is it, 6-8 months ago? Come on, man.
Well, it's been a couple of months, but all right, let me go to Slick so we can go ahead and get out of here. Go ahead, man. Give me your thoughts.
So, great comments from everybody. Like, there's a lot of things I want to pick and choose from what folks have already said, but oh man, gaming press ain't nothing but a bunch of fanboys nowadays. I can't even name but a few who are out there who are real journalists. When I heard Adam Sessler, he's looking to get back in. He's got a YouTube channel. I'm like, Adam Sessler, I was hyped particularly for him because we know
G4 TV, baby.
Even before that, but yes, especially in those days. But even before that, when it was whatever network it was, Tech TV. Even before it was ZDNet and whatever.
Oh yeah, Revision, yeah, and all that.
Yeah, Revision 3 and all that stuff. This dude has been around. We know his pedigree. All these other dudes that we can name and women or whatever. Actually, there's a couple women I could name who are equally highly regarded in my mind, anyway. But let me take this way back. Kay Lee. A lot of people only know this name now. But that's the brother from Game Fan Magazine. And if you were hardcore into games like I was, Lemon was, and I assume you, K-Mega, right? And others, okay? Game Fan magazine that came out around 92 or so. I still have stacks of issues. I'm pretty sure I still have that first issue. Right? Okay. That was a magazine that reviewed all types of games, all genres. The genres that are hot now, when they weren't hot back then, when they were Japanese exclusives, when most of the hot Japanese games we did not get, we would have to import and do this and do that. And Dave Halverson, who ran the magazine, who also ran the stores at the back of the magazine where hint, you can go buy them. But that was longer ago than, say, for example, Chris Hart was alive. Not to knock him, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure he's a younger dude. Okay, we wouldn't even know this dude other than the fact that he put these early PlayStation 5 rumors out there. But this was a dude who was respected in my mind up until all this bullshit came out of his mouth. And then he must have realized the writing on the wall that he was wrong or whatever, or because I believe he knew that what he was saying back then was wrong. And he went with it anyway. But just before the truth was about to come out with the Xbox Series X and all of these announcements and stuff, all of a sudden he was like, I'm packing up. I'm gone. I'm completely out of this. Right? He did pretty much that. You can see all these folks online on social media, as everybody else has said, all this crap you hear left and right from these clowns. The bias is clear. Look at this new dude here. He works at Crytek, but he's in the mobile division or whatever. To me, now the Don would have to, clarify for me, but that sounds like you're the bottom rung, dude. You're doing the crap mobile games that's paying for, for this and that, but it's not the AAA games that, that Crytek is known for. Okay? He never touched a development system, Xbox or PlayStation. He didn't know any of the things he was talking about. His bias was clear. The website that it came from, all this news and all these lies had come from. Once you hear the name of the website, Push Square, obviously a PlayStation fanboy website. It must be. I've never heard of this website before. Apparently you guys have. I didn't. Yeah. As soon as I hear names like this, I'm automatically blocking it mentally. Well, I scroll right past.
Not to interrupt you on that one. I just wanted to say I read these things because I kind of I want myself to hear both sides of the bias. I will go to the most craziest, wildest Xbox person that I can read their stuff. Same with the PlayStation, and then I listen to everything in between so I can get a feel for myself personally of what actually is I think that is the middle ground, instead of just hearing just one particular side just because I'm pro Xbox or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that I listen to it.
But no, those folks don't have no equal side. They will say whatever they want. This is why I was talking about. This guy must have been on the bottom rung of Crytek. He's in the mobile division. He never touched these development kits, but he's talking out his ass because that's what he wanted to be true. That's the lies he wanted to spread because he's a fan boy for Sony. Black and white. All this other crap. This is why I don't listen to any of these websites and certain people. I automatically block them mentally. Not that I physically block them on Twitter or whatever. I see them, I'm scrolling right past. I don't. It's not even a thought in my mind to waste brain cells on. I'm already moving on to the next thing. I'm scrolling on that 360 News website 100 talking about, or is it an app? I've used it before. I know exactly what he's talking about. It's a news aggregator, and it's very good. And I'll be scrolling through, and I'm just moving on because I know I'm not going to get any kind of real information from folks like that. I'll get more information out of IGN and folks like that. And IGN is just a joke now, okay? So it's so horrible to see gaming journalism is just nothing but PlayStation fanboys. I'm sorry. It's not Xbox fanboys. It's not Nintendo fanboys. It's not PC fanboys. And yeah, they have toxic elements in all those groups as well. But who is doing 99% of this crap you see online every day? The PlayStation fanboys. It's black and white.
I'll interject real quick. These are Golden State fans. Where were they at this year? No. That's real shit. What happened to all those diehard?
I'm a
Golden State
Celtics fan,
fans?
so
I mean,
look it.
the main ones were still there, but what happened to the crowds? Oh, I love the Warriors.
Right.
People weren't even showing up to the games like that.
Yeah, they got a new stadium and everything, and now the
Well,
people
they
don't even
should.
come after they. I mean, that's a fact.
They should have been singing
That's what
Lloyd
I'm saying.
Banks.
Like,
Yo, I'm a warrior.
They're not even real PlayStation fans. They fair weather
fair-
fans.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. The casual is whoever has the most popular from the media, from now social media, YouTubers. That's the mind share part of it now, and it sucks that both of these companies have to do this. Sony does it their way. Xbox does it. Well, they tried to do it another way. It failed miserably for them.
Yeah,
Now
now
they changed up, and now they understand now. So we're gonna see how this plays out going into.
They
the
learn
next
from their
one.
mistakes.
Well, shit. We only saw a console controller and a logo.
We ain't seen no console. We just seen a logo, a controller, and Godfall and Quantum Error, and a lot of rumors. And SSD.
That's why I say
Not rumors, lies. Because most of them have been proven not to be true at all.
True.
Because it's all fair weather, man. Like, come on, man. How many times can't make it? You gotta be honest, yo. How shocked were you that all these Persona fans came out of nowhere?
Oh, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked because I know I was playing
because
Persona.
the numbers were limited.
I was playing Persona before they even knew what the game was.
But I'm saying as far as the numbers, like there's so many people that bought Persona for Persona 5, and they didn't buy that many Personas in the other games combined.
No, combined. Yeah, like overall before their history.
That's what I'm saying. They're fair weather fans.
Yes,
because let Xbox be the number one or Nintendo be number one and PlayStation number 2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where are all those fans going to be? Are they going to come back?
I want to go back to what K Mega has said.
Sold 3 million. The first Halo War sold 3 million. They ain't getting no 3 million for Halo War.
I want to go back what K Mega has said a couple times on Twitter is that if you reverse the roles, if you reverse them real quick, and you go and say, okay, PlayStation 5 was revealed at VGAs, and everything else after was silence from Xbox, what would happen? People would be talking shit.
Oh yeah.
And we wouldn't and you know what? I think on this panel, most of us would be calling them out. Be like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and that's the point I try to make, is that I constantly bring up good points. K-Bag, you constantly get destroyed. I don't know why nobody touches me, because they don't want to mess with it. But in the end, I will call out, dude. I've had something that I've been calling out for months upon months. We've been on Next a couple times, and how many times have I called out Gears 5 with the, I don't feel like I can earn anything, and all of a sudden I can.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And that's it, dude. I'm not gonna change my mentality. I love the game. I think it's a great game. The problem is that you have taken away something that I feel like I've earned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to call that out. I don't give a shit.
Your problem, you're gonna call it out. That's called not being biased, because you love Gears. If you didn't love Gears, you wouldn't care at all.
No, and that's the whole point overall. Is that what Live is saying about with the sports metaphor? Like it's just it's just like it's like Niners for life. Where was the Niners fans when they wasn't shit? Then everybody was all on their tip because they got to the Super Bowl. Same with my Rams. I mean, look now, St. Louis fans.
I'm a Chiefs fan, so shut up.
Well, no. But see, hold on. This is the thing right here, though. Chiefs fans has always been loyal. You know what I'm saying? When the Rams were with St. Louis, they were loyal to them. But the West Coast was winning. The Rams weren't winning at that. They won, and then they slacked off, and then they started doing then the Cardinals started winning, and then so of course gradually they're going to go to them. But like, where were these people at? Now they've gone to L.A. and now people want to start talking about my Rams. I love it, of course, but it's still the same thing. Like nobody was talking about, and shout out to Lemon. Lemon said that he says nobody wasn't over here bigging up The Last of Us. When it first came out, nobody wasn't bigging up.
No.
They weren't bigging up that game. They weren't. You know what I'm saying? They made the people that loved it. They really loved it because the game was good for them. And then, but nobody wasn't on that game's tip. People didn't get on that game's tip until the remaster, and then the media got behind it, was telling everybody how great that game was, and then everything
Actually,
else
early
got
on
part
when
of
the
it.
PS4 had no games.
Right, and so then it just turned into what it is now, and so I can guarantee you that there was most people that didn't play. That's the one thing that you want to know is when you want to see about a person's pedigree when it comes to gaming, it goes into the thing of like everybody's talking bigging up God of War. I beat God of War, like I said, big shout out to Sin Vendetta for hooking me up with that game. I beat that game. I got that game a couple of months later than the release, and I beat that game on the hardest level and on the hardest difficulty, and that damn game was under 40% complete a beat from the PlayStation fans. Like, what am I talking? Why are you bigging up this game? And it's less. And I mean, that's just with any damn game. Like you don't see me talking about Cuphead. I love Cuphead, but I didn't beat that shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't beat it. I played something else, got into something else. I was doing other things. Beat other things.
We got the Don.
I see the Don in here.
Oh shit! What did I walk into?
Oh, there you go.
I don't know, but you better hurry up because you always coming in here when we about to leave. What's going on, man?
No. I'm just saying, Devin the Gamer's happening like an hour after this.
Is it? Is it really?
Are you adult enough to handle that?
Oh, listen to this. Oh man, you trying to plug me into doing the show?
Man, are you? Is it past your bedtime? What's going on?
I mean, it might be. It might be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Mama told me it's time to go to bed tonight. Oh, baby.
Hey man, just set your little foot bath, and then we'll do this.
Oh man, you know what? I'll probably do the foot bath when we do the show. So you know what I'm saying. So.
That's no different than Livewire chewing on food when we're playing gaming.
Yeah, true. That is true. Livewire just left. Livewire just left. Livewire can't be here to defend himself. Anyway, all right, man. We're gonna have to get the hell out of here. Let me thank everybody. Sick, you didn't get to finish what you were saying. Get to your last point, and then we get out of here.
Well, long story short, man, you look at all the stuff that's going on, all the bullshit that's being spoke online, and just like, okay, gaming press is a dub. Flush all of that shit. None of it is any good, frankly. Like, I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, but but generally, thumbs down on all of it. They all suck ass, right? And these fanboys out here, okay? Even a wannabe developer. Now, Don, you here right here real quick. Now, you educate me on the situation here.
Yeah.
If you're at Crytek, you just got there, you just been there a couple months, like this guy supposedly was, and they put you to work on mobile games, right?
Okay.
Now, in my opinion, that sounds like that's the low-level, low-rung type of job you get until you prove yourself or whatever. Am I accurate in thinking that, or am I like out my ass?
It can be multiple things. I would say it's probably not fair to jump to that conclusion, right? Because sometimes you have more of a constraint on a mobile game to develop something good, right? So sometimes it takes even more talented people to do that sort of stuff. So I caught a little bit. I think he was a little bit out of line. I mean, that's the danger. I think developers should never put where they work, like on their Twitter handle. When you do interviews, you're not doing interviews that should represent the company unless that's what your job is, right? Sort of thing. You can give opinions and you can say things, but just don't put where you work. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. Like that's one of the rules with the place I work for. There's a reason why I don't put that out there in the public, right? I'm sure people can try to figure it out, but I'm never going to confirm that's where I work or not, because then my opinions start becoming the opinions of the company, and that's not a fair place for me to be, in regards to unless that's my position, right? Unless I'm in the lead and that's part of the job is to give that sort of thing. So it's unfortunate, and you're right. Developers do have their personal preferences. They have for multiple different reasons in regards to that. But I would just say, games are around the corner, man. Just wait and see. And as I said, like some people will see the differences between the machine that's more powerful. Some won't even pick up on it. Like hardware's got to earn your dollar, guys. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Preferences. Thank
All
you,
right,
Don.
all right.
Preferences.
All right, listen. I've been trying so hard to not hit that 3-hour mark, and
All
damn
right,
it,
so-
we got close. We already close to it. I was like, all right, 2 hours and 15 minutes, we
Right.
hitting it, and then it, you know what I'm saying? But okay, all right.
Yeah, I just want to ask that one question because
Yeah, I did too. I wanted to hear what Don had to say, but then I got to talk to Don's ass here a little bit later. So I mean, so.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, just wrapping up. A lot of folks just talking a lot of stuff about their bias or whatever. I think that's what the problem is. They just they one-sided and don't want to hear none less, and we'll make it up and they'll fake it till they make it.
Yes.
But they ain't gonna make it this gen. It doesn't seem that way anyway. We'll soon see.
We'll see. Hopefully people get a lot wiser about what's going on with all this clickbait stuff. But all right, man, let's get out of here. PK Live, man, where can they find you at? Thank you for coming on, being on here as usual. Where can they find you at, brother?
Thank you. Find me at PKX Live on Twitter. Thank you. You can hit me up, and maybe we could play some games.
No doubt. All right. Crispy, thank you for coming on, sneaking in from the back door. Where can they find you at, brother?
Back door, baby. You know how it is.
No.
Gotta go there.
Wait a minute.
At Chris Baum on Twitter. You can find me on next podcast tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And you can also find me on Retro Renegades, 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. And hit me up on Xbox Live. It's Crispy Bomb 28.
Yeah, big shout out to the Graphic God and to Supersonic and his VR Love Fest machine. And to everybody else on the cut. And Winnie Wood on that show too?
Nah, it's Jago.
Jago.
Yeah.
I get Winnie Wood confused with the other show.
And
that I listen to
actually,
over there.
real quick, I want to cut you off. Shout out to Crazy Gamer.
Mhm.
Okay, his wife passed away.
Ooh.
Chloe. And they're both great people. They were meant to be together. It broke my heart when I found it out.
Oh, man.
And it's because of the COVID. And let's be mindful, keep our space, and do the things we got to do to survive.
No doubt about it, man. Shout out to them. Man, I couldn't even imagine. And big shout out to Fame. You know what I'm saying? The Fame 2K out there, man. He just got out of quarantine and he survived getting hit with that. And I you know what I'm saying, my heart goes out to him. I mean, we on Facebook and stuff, and he he sees how serious I take this stuff. So my heart goes out to him and his family. I was so happy to see him with his daughter and him back home doing his thing. So man,
Bro, like talk about relief when he came out and said he beat it, bro. Like you felt the weight come off your shoulder at that point.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. No, I feel bad for anybody that's been going through this.
Yeah.
I mean, just so many people. That's why I'm like, I just can't understand why so many people just kind of try to take this as, whatever. Yeah, no. I mean, until that shit hits home, and that's usually how it happens. When it hits home, then that's when people start taking shit seriously. But they have to take this seriously. This is something different. Anyway. But let me go on here to you. Op, where can they find you at, man? What's going on?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Operation Oppo, and of course every Saturday on Smash Podcast at 8 p.m. Central.
All right. On Mixer. I seen it on Mixer. Yes. I seen
Oh,
it.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So come check it out. I also auto host when they come on. So man, go ahead and check them out for sure. And then Don, since you just came in here and popped in like a thief of the night.
I forgot I even was in here. Check me out on Twitter, Mixer, the Don_KTR, all that sort of stuff. And if I can con K Mega in the next 45 minutes or so to do Devin the Gamer, we may do Devin the Gamer on my Mixer channel. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. But K Mega don't play no games. I do podcasts all the time. That's what they're gonna say. So. I don't know. That's what they say. Anyway, all right. So everybody out there. Oh, I forgot one more person, and that is the Six Slayer, aka Slick. Where can they find you at, man? Where they can find you at?
Well. Since you're trying to wrap this up, I'll keep this short and sweet. But you have earned your prize as promised. We'll do that later. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, EA Origin, Uplay, wherever. Even for the next 2 months, you'll find me on Stadia. And by the way, it sucks ass.
Oh, this is
sucks ass. Okay,
Stadia is the next place of greatness.
Man, 6 months ago, I beta tested something from EA, which was basically their cloud service where I got to play Titanfall and some other games on there, and they played way better than Stadia. And this is from EA. We know how crappy EA can be when it comes to service and such, and they did way better than this. But for the next 2 months, you'll find me there as well. It don't matter, man. If you want to play games, I'll find a way to play with you.
No doubt.
That's that.
No doubt. All right. And then, as usual, thank you for coming by and doing the damn thing, man. I really was enjoying you and PK having a good conversation while I was hearing Crispy and Op and Live and 100 talk shit about fighting games. I was disgusted. Anyway.
Well, PK's a smart dude, so that's easy.
Anyway. So, as usual, this is K-Mega405, man. Thank you for coming by and checking out the show. We'll be uploading the show tomorrow on YouTube, so if you want to get it there, by all means, you can go there. But thank you for everybody who stopped by, and we're about to get the hell out of here. I'm sure Don's going to try to coerce me to do this. I probably got to get my tea ready and my I think my Crown Black. I'll probably just go ahead and let Don do all the talking because he seems like he's ready to talk. So anyway, everybody have a good one. And as I always say, which I can't say this right now because you can't unless you got your lady at home or your gentleman at home. Man, I don't know, man. Social distancing, it seems, might be to that thing. So maybe you could do some hunching pants off, dance off, because we know y'all's asses ain't working except for Crispy and the people out there that are essential to the game. So I hope everybody stays safe and do what they need to do to keep themselves healthy. By all means, man, God bless to everyone and have a great night. Peace!
Hey, thanks for checking out the GRG podcast. All your gaming news and our special topic of the week. Make sure to join us every Friday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, and 6:30 Pacific. This was the GRG podcast.